Measure
I don't want you to be more measure-headed. I don't even know what that means.
What is the word I'm trying to think of?
No, I don't want you to be anyone other than yourself.
Not measure-headed.
Here's the thing.
More measured.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
When you try to be someone you're not,
What's measure-headed?
it's you being an idiot.
True.
Just be you. That's the thing. Like, nobody is listening to us because they want you to be me.
More measure-headed.
Or me to be you. They want you to be a person that doesn't know if Austin is in Massachusetts or in Texas, or if measure-headed is a term or not, or Furman is the school or Furnham is the school, right? They want you, and you need to be able to deliver you.
BOGO means bring your own.
You did say that, didn't you?
I did say that, yeah.
Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim, and we'll see if we can fit everything in 4 hours, because that's how long we have once again here today. Our Padres insider, Jim just mentioned off the top, the Padres are involved in a really good one right now with the White Sox, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak in the Cactus League against the lowly White Sox, Jim, and it is 1-1 in the 8th inning. Is that right?
Correct. This would be an unacceptable loss in spring training.
You can't be losing to the White Sox. They've lost 3 straight. Kevin Acee is going to join us coming up at 4:30. Tom Penn is the CEO of San Diego FC. They just had a weekend to remember in LA with the big win, and they're about to have a weekend that potentially is going to be unforgettable for San Diegans. It's the home debut for San Diego FC. It'll be Saturday night against St. Louis City, and Tom Penn's going to join us coming up at 3 p.m. And we've been touching a bit on this, and we'll get to the Aztecs last night as well. But like, you only get it's cliche, the one chance at a first impression. It went well in Los Angeles, and now you get one chance at a first impression at home. And I don't even know if you can top what played out this past Sunday. I mean, is it just go win? Is it a good fan experience? Is it the way the crowd reacts the first time San Diego FC takes the pitch? Like, I don't even know what you're looking for. It was so good. It was so good on Sunday in Los Angeles. Like, can you even top that?
I can't wait to talk to Tom Penn at 3:00 today. We have Tyler Heaps, their GM, on tomorrow on the show, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So we'll talk to him tomorrow. This afternoon, San Diego FC already tweeted out they're expecting, and I said this yesterday, by the way.
Yep.
They're expecting the largest crowd in the history of Snapdragon Stadium on Saturday. I do think it was already going to be a sellout in the first place.
Yeah.
But what happened on Sunday night, I really do believe that has led into the excitement this week. And just a reminder, you can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. We'll be joining that game in progress on Saturday because we have Aztecs as well. So
I was texting with Darren. So Darren Smith's on the call, right?
Yeah.
With Adrian Garcia Marquez. He's like,
Saturday,
wrap up the post game quickly. I'm like, here's
get this thing done.
So the Aztecs play 5. You can hear it right here as well on Saturday against Wyoming. And we'll get into that in a second. You'll hear from Brian Dutcher. And then San Diego FC plays at 7:30. I'm like, we're good, man. And then I said, we're good barring 3 OT. He's like, you jinxed it. I'm like, I may have. I may have potentially jinxed it. But yeah, Aztecs at 5 and then San Diego FC at 7:30.
That's going to be, I mean, if you're just, San Diego sports fan, you can go to now again, it's going to be tough, but you can go to the Aztec game. Sorry,
you can't go to Laramie, Wyoming.
You can't. Sorry, my head's all over the place. My bad. You can't. You can watch the game at a bar, and then you can head to Snapdragon.
You can fly to Concord from Laramie to San Diego. Idiot. You're such an idiot.
Sorry.
Okay, so last night for San Diego State, let's start there.
You can go to the game in Wyoming.
And Tom Penn will join us coming up at 3 p.m. That's kind of fitting with the Open, where I said you don't know where Austin is, if it's in Massachusetts or in Texas. Last night for the Aztecs, we kept saying after the injury to their starting center, Magoon Guath, who's going to step up. Spoiler alert, the team stepped up. The entire team stepped up when they needed to win a game. That might be the difference between them reaching the NCAA tournament or not for a 5th consecutive year under Brian Dutcher. And honestly, it's a 6th consecutive year if you include 2020. The difference might have been last night. And the Aztecs won the game last night without arguably their best player, or was playing like their best player in Magoon Guath. And I just feel as if that win is going to go a long way. Now, there's still work to be done. We've been talking about this. They have 3 regular season games remaining, including Saturday in Wyoming. I don't know what their margin is. I'm not a bracketologist. I'm not on the selection committee.
Why not?
I should be, truthfully. But I think a home win over New Mexico, Jim, and the manner in which they did it, they win by 8 points. The crowd was electric. And one of those games you just got to get, and they got it, which is like the Brian Dutcher calling card. Like they just consistently win at high levels, and they point themselves towards the NCAA tournament. And that's what they did last night.
Yeah, that was a fun game to watch. I think the energy in that place, it just jumped off the screen. I mean, you were there. You even tweeted out the atmosphere in there was electric. That was a game that, that has been circled on the calendar here at Viejas Arena for a little while now, especially with how the game went up in New Mexico at the Pit. And this was a big game, just not only from the standpoint, it's kind of like one of your rivals, but look, they needed this win on their resume.
Mm-hmm.
They still would have been, I want to say, okay if they lost.
Yeah, they would have been okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would have been difficult still, but with a win now under your belt, you can kind of let out a little sigh of relief, not a full sigh of relief. There's still a lot of work to be done. They can still lose to Wyoming on Saturday and just completely crumble everything. Not completely, but
to kind of give back what they did yesterday if they lose on Saturday. Yeah.
But picking up the win last night is for multitude of reasons. Having to have that victory was a must, and they got it done. That guy step up, Miles Heide, the guy that I just shipped off yesterday.
Yeah, where is that open? Jim's like, I love that you're like, hey, John, who's the one player you would cut from next year's team? I'm like, I'm not going down that path. And Jim last night's like, I'll say it, Miles Heide, and then he goes off for career high 10 points, 7 rebounds, multiple assists. Big plays down the stretch.
I like to view that as I lit a fire underneath them.
I think you did. Maybe you're the reason why they won.
Maybe I am.
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome, John.
But Brian Dutcher didn't say a postgame. This was Dutch postgame. Aztecs win over New Mexico. They split the regular season. The next time they're on the floor, it's March, folks. It'll be this Saturday. It's March 1st. Everything's still in front of San Diego State. This was Brian Dutcher postgame.
This is a tough, gutty win tonight. Playing our first full game without Magoon. Heidi stepped up, played great. Jared played great, and Farrell played great off the bench. Our bigs were really valuable tonight. And so proud of all of them. They all contributed at a high level. And we beat a very good New Mexico team. Last time we played them, I think they got 18 offensive rebounds, and they had 19 extra shots, 19 more shots than we had. And it wasn't quite as bad. They had 12 more shots than we did tonight, and they had 17, I think, offensive rebounds. So this is a good team. Nelly Joseph had 16 offensive rebounds. But I thought we did a good job on him for the most part. We fronted him. We didn't give him any easy catches because he's a dynamic player. So I thought we had a good game plan. I thought we played good help defense. Again, we shot 54% in the second half for the second game in a row. I think we had 20 assists tonight, something like that, maybe 16 to 20 assists, 16 assists. So we're playing the right way offensively. Our offense is catching up to a very good defense, and hopefully that will continue as we play our final 3 games of the season.
You've heard me say this a lot over the last month. I think it's his best coaching job. Now, it's got to be finished off, and it's not just Dutch, but it's the staff, and the players have to obviously do their jobs as well. But I think if you get this team to the NCAA tournament with 6 underclassmen in the rotation, 6 without their top 7 scorers from last year. They lost Reese Waters, arguably their best player before the season started, to a broken foot. And you're going to take that team potentially back to the NCAA tournament if that is, in fact, how it plays out over the next couple of weeks. I mean, how could you ask for more out of this team right now?
It's an incredible job. I don't know, John.
Yeah.
It's an incredible job. How young this team is, to have them in a position where they're on the doorstep of making the NCAA tournament is an incredible job. And you lose Magoon for who knows how long. And if they can finish this off, the path is there. The final 3 games of the regular season are all very winnable. You pull that off, you get in the Mountain West Conference tournament. Who knows what would happen there? And you get into the NCAA tournament. You're right, man. I think this has been one of his better coaching seasons, and that is coming off of a Sweet 16 appearance last year, and oh, by the way, a national championship game appearance 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's like it's interesting how you look at certain things with different lenses. Yeah, you're right. They went to a national championship game. San Diego State less than 2 years ago today was in a national championship game against the University of Connecticut, playing to potentially do something they've never done in school history. I mean, it was their first Final Four ever. But the difference with that team in 2023, Jim, was like an unfinished business team. Remember the year before? They blew a large lead against Creighton in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And then everyone came back. It was kind of pre-NIL and transfer portal. Now you have all this movement. And they had this veteran team with 4th and 5th and even 6th year players. Adam Seiko was in his 6th year when that team made a Final Four for the first time in school history. The difference between that team and this team is they don't have that experience. And they've had players graduate. And they've had players end up at the University of Kentucky like Lamont Butler. So this team isn't the 2023 team. The beauty of March Madness is if you make it, it's like playing the lotto. You're not going to win unless you play. I mean, if they make it, we don't know what could happen. They could win games in the NCAA tournament. We have no idea. And I also think this, if they make the NCAA tournament, you talk about a team that's going to play free and loose. You got nothing to lose. You have everything to gain.
And that pressure from Dutch is off. That was off the year they went to the national championship game. It was like, oh, can you win a game in the tournament?
Right.
That was the big question going into that year. And oh, by the way, yeah, he can. And they made it to the national championship game. And then they followed that up with a Sweet 16 appearance last year. So you're right. There would be no pressure on this team if they would make it to the tournament this year at all, especially for Dutch. Like none on him, which I think as a coach, like you like that because you're not sitting there being like, man, we got to win a tournament game. We got to win a tournament game. You don't need to sit there and think that with Dutch at all. He has proven everything he needs to prove that he is one of the best coaches in college basketball. And if he brings this team to another tournament, which you said yesterday, 5, 6 in a row?
This would be a 5th straight year. And that does not include 2020, which would make this a 6th straight year.
Yeah, it's just incredible. And with how young this team is, job's not finished by any stretch.
They got to get there.
There's still work to be done. But last night was a big piece of that puzzle. And the way that they played, yeah, it was fun night.
And I also think that if they do get there to kind of finish that point, there's a difference between being a hunter and being hunted.
Yeah.
Because in 2023, when they finally got over the hump and won that NCAA tournament game, that then allowed them to kind of push the dominoes over and go on that run. But remember that first game they played against Charleston in 2023?
It wasn't
it was
easy.
A tie game with 3 minutes left. And Matt Bradley made some plays down the stretch and they won by 4 or 6 points and that got the ball rolling. I think this would feel a lot different in 2025. You have this young, hungry group just trying to do something that maybe they're not expected to do, but then again, they don't kind of understand that they're not necessarily expected to do it. All right. On the other side, we're going to get back to the Padres. Can they avoid a 4-game Cactus League losing streak?
Who do we blame?
And then also, is there any type of priority right now on Jackson Merrill's future? Does AJ Preller, does ownership need to concern themselves with Jackson Merrill and his long-term future right now or not? We'll get into that on the other side. Tom Penn, CEO of San Diego FC, will join us at 3 p.m. ahead of their huge home debut coming up Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium. We're here until 6. It's Jon and Jim. All right, join San Diego Sports 760 and the San Diego Blood Bank, saving lives by donating blood at iHeartRadio. This Friday, 8 a.m. to 1:30 at our studios, 9660 Granite Ridge Drive. Your donations can help patients with cancer, severe burns, trauma, childbirth complications, and more. One donation could save up to 3 lives, and all blood types are needed. The first 50 successful donors will receive a pair of tickets to see Kane Brown March 13th, or a pair of tickets to see Kelsey Ballerini March 22nd, Pechanga Arena. While supplies last, make your appointment today, sandiegobloodbank.org/iHeart. That's sandiegobloodbank.org/iHeart. Tom Penn, CEO, San Diego FC at 3 p.m. Jon and Jim with you right now on San Diego Sports 760. I have good news for you, Jim. It is really good news.
Let me guess.
You know.
I saw it. Did the Padres just beat the White Sox?
No, they haven't beaten anyone, but they have scratched across a run and taken a lead.
Those scrappy little pods.
Those scrappy little Padres. Now, how did they take a lead? That would involve me seeing how they took a lead. But they did take a lead in the 8th inning, and I think they did it. Of course, it was on a Forrest Wall home run.
Oh, the Great Forrest Wall.
I think
it's a great name, by the way.
Yes.
Great Wall?
Yeah.
Forrest Wall. The
Great Wall of San Diego
is 2 for 2 with a solo home run, and the Padres are leading right now.
MVP
2-1 of the Cactus League, maybe.
Is that a where were you type of moment?
Probably not. Not even for Forrest Wall. Probably not even for his parents. And he took over for Jackson Merrill, who was 0 for 2 in this game. But let's start there with the Padres.
Okay.
So Jackson Merrill is coming off arguably the best rookie season in the National League. Yes, I know he didn't win Rookie of the Year, but you could absolutely argue he had the best rookie season in the National League. We talked about it for months on end. And you got this young player who's a big part of your future, who's entering year 2, who's going to be your starting center fielder, and is coming off this remarkable first year. And we had Dan Zimborski, who covers baseball for Fangraphs and does the deep dive on this type of stuff every single day, say that every month the Padres put off extending Jackson Merrill, every month he hits, it's going to cost the Padres $10 million long-term in his contract. So if they wait until the end of this season, that's 6 months of baseball, it could cost the Padres another $60 million to extend Jackson Merrill. The question remains today, can they afford to wait on Merrill? The team that has no money right now, the team that hasn't spent anything this offseason, it's kind of funny to look at it like that. Can they wait it out? Because by waiting, isn't it going to cost them more money to keep Jackson Merrill here long term?
So I saw a post yesterday by Talking Friars. I think I sent it to you.
Okay. Did you? I don't know. What did it say?
Well, Kevin Acey, who will be joining us today at 4:30?
Correct.
4:30. He wrote this piece about Jackson Merrill. And in one of the games, I think it was maybe a couple days ago. And in the piece, Jackson Merrill says this: these guys are my team. Merrill said after Monday's game, pointing toward players packing up in the dugout. Quote, "These boys are my boys. Obviously, for Manny and Bogey and those guys, it's okay to leave. The veterans, they've earned it. I got 1 year under my belt. I don't have that respect yet." He's referring to in a spring training game, after guys get a couple at bats, they usually leave and they go hit the shower, so to say. They get some rehab or whatever, get some food, and they're out. And the game's still going on. That wasn't Jackson Merrill the other day. He stayed for the entire spring training game. You never see that with regulars ever, especially guys of Jackson Merrill's ilk. And I don't know. I just thought that when you keep seeing things like this, and we've heard Jackson Merrill talk a lot this spring training about, like, I don't care who's in this clubhouse, I'm going to go to war with them. He reminds me a lot of Schulte, by the way.
Yeah.
It's the attitude that he brings, and also the player that he is, that this organization and franchise just can't afford to lose. That's the type of attitude that all fans look at and go, dude, freaking love this guy.
Well, here's the thing. You and I and our listeners agree, and tell me if you disagree. 70470, start it with the word team. You can hit us up on the talkback mic. Open the iHeartRadio app right now and leave up to a 30-second talkback. Just search for San Diego Sports 760 or call us, 877-767-4760. I think we all agree, Jim, they're not losing Jackson Merrill. The point is, by waiting to extend him, they're going to cost themselves And that's going to impact their ability to complete the roster around him. You're going to build this thing. I mean, I'm ready to go here right now, starting year 2. You're going to build this thing around Jackson Merrill. Not solely Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny right now, maybe a young pitching staff if you can keep someone like Michael King. But you're going to build this thing. You're going to market this thing around Jackson Merrill, right?
Absolutely.
He's one of your marketable pieces. So if you're committed to do that, I think there's no real risk for him not being here. I would never say that entering year 2. But the risk is if you can get it done for X and you wait and it costs you Y, what does that mean to the rest of your roster? This is the team that, because of their payroll lack of flexibility, is doing creative signing after creative signing. That's why, for me, getting this done now gives you a better chance to compete in the future.
Exactly.
Right?
I just don't want this to continue to drag on. Like, if he puts together, and it's very possible, if he puts together another season like he did last year, this year, then we're going to have the same conversations next offseason.
Yep. How much is it going to cost? Yep.
Yeah. And we know his attitude. The kid is exactly what every baseball fan loves. He brings this freshness and this exuberance to a team that definitely needed it last year and was missing it in 2023. And he's just this guy that's a winning player. He just is. And I can't sit here. It's hard for me to think of a world now in the future with Jackson Merrill not on the Padres, because
I'm not thinking about. I don't think that world really exists. Like, I don't think that's
after his arbitration years get done.
No, but I mean, are we really? Is that our concern that he's not going to stay? My concern is, hey, you could get this done for $100 million. Why are you going to wait it off when it costs you $2 million later?
My concern is them just kind of kicking this thing down the road and kicking this thing down the road.
I agree.
And then it becomes an issue where you're like, oh, this dude's like a $30 million player per year.
Yeah, exactly. That's my concern as well. And I think it's like a rookie quarterback. You better go win with your rookie quarterback, because when you pay him $900K, you can build around him. When you pay him $55 million a year, you've got $55 million less to spend on your roster to win.
Yeah. And Jackson Merrill is a guy that I think all Padres fans can agree they never want to see him in another uniform.
100%.
And when Corbin Burns has the rookie year that he does and helps lead the D-backs to the World Series a couple years ago, what did they do? They locked him up as soon as they could. Now, he had a down year last year, but towards the end of the season, in the second half of the year, Corbin Carroll looked like Corbin Carroll. And you're kind of sitting here wondering, all right, if Jackson Merrill looks like Jackson Merrill for this, second year in the bigs, that contract could easily double.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, we'll talk about it with Kevin Acee coming up at 4:30, our Padres Insider. This hour, we're giving away a pair of tickets to the Shamrock Music and Beer Festival downtown, right by Petco in the Gas Lamp. So don't go anywhere. This hour, we'll give away a pair of tickets to the Shamrock Music and Beer Festival. On the other side, a developing NFL story that's going to change the NFL for forever. A massive story out of the NFL. On the other side, this is Jon and Jim.
Oh, this is an update. Sorry. This update's brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. San Diego State with a huge win last night over New Mexico, 73-65. Next up, they're on the road against Wyoming this Saturday night. And the Padres, John, they might have ended their losing streak. It's the bottom of the 9th inning. Padres have a 3-1 lead in Cactus League play over the Chicago White Sox. Waiting for your morning cup of coffee, like a slow drain to clear. Winter rains make roots grow in drain pipes. Call Anderson Plumbing Roofing Drain Services with their $63 drain stoppage guarantee. Say goodbye to slow drains. Book online, Anderson Plumbing Roofing Drain Services.
All right, we do have those Shamrock Music and Beer Festival tickets, a 4-pack. We'll give those away this hour. Tom Penn, CEO of San Diego FC, will join us at 3, and then Kevin Acey at 4:30. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We have a massive NFL story. I mean, huge. If you liked automatic balls and strikes, you're going to like an electronic system to measure first downs coming to the NFL this upcoming season, per Yahoo Sports. The chain gang will remain on the sidelines as a backup, but coming in 2025, per Yahoo Sports and Mike Garofalo, the NFL plans to implement an electronic system to measure first downs this upcoming season. This is the league that's valued at literally $1 trillion+ when you combine the franchises. Mm-hmm. This is a league that's consumed 365 days a year, and champions are celebrated for forever. Yet we randomly just spot the ball. I mean, for the history of time in the sport.
It's good right there.
The guy's knee goes down. There's plays that continue when it's been marked 1.5 yards wrong. College football, NFL, you're off by 1.5 yards. I mean, you're determining who's winning games, if a team is punting or going for it, 4th down or not. Whatever. We're just going to spot this thing randomly. So I don't know how they're going to get this right. There's a lot that goes into it. Where is the knee? Where is the player down, and where is the ball in relation to when the player's down? Not just a knee, right? There's all kinds of ways you can be down. But according to Yahoo, they're going to implement an electronic system. Now, baseball, for whatever reason, can't put it in until 2026. The NFL is going to put it in 2025.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It is funny, though, because what would you say the biggest catalyst is to why this is getting done right now?
It's a very good question. Would you say it's fantasy sports or betting?
Well, I meant like what was like the
play?
Yeah, the play or the straw that broke the camel's back.
Were there some spotting issues in Buffalo, Kansas City AFC title?
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
But you're right. And it was high profile, but it's one in a series of this type of play over the course of time, right?
I get it. But it is funny how the last 2 like real major rule changes in the NFL, the overtime rule, and then now the spotting of the ball have happened because of the Bills against the Chiefs and how the Bills in overtime that one year.
Yeah, of course.
Didn't get the ball. Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. And this past year, clearly Josh Allen has the first down. The refs mark him short.
Yep.
And then right after we now get, what is it?
Automatic balls and strikes of football.
Yeah, automatic
first down
spotting. Yeah.
You could even go back farther to that pass interference call in the Saints game in the playoffs, because then they attempted to make the change in pass interference.
Yeah. I mean, listen, here's what I would say: that for something that's as precise as professional sports, why not get it right? They've been doing it in tennis. They're going to do it in baseball. I mean, in basketball, they'll stop play to make sure that somebody's foot was a centimeter behind the 3-point line to determine if it's a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer. I mean, everything is predicated on down and distance. The whole sport is predicated on down and distance. Wouldn't you want to get it right?
Oh, yeah.
The distance. And for whatever reason, we've allowed this to play out for 75 years. Now, again, you couldn't do anything in the 1950s, but in the 2020s, you can. Technology exists where you can get this pretty much precise each and every play. And I'm in favor of it, as opposed to baseball, where I do think there's a nuance with umpires. Like, I'm okay with an umpire making a call, and then, you can challenge it. Like, it doesn't have to be perfectly precise every pitch. I don't understand why, if it should be a 1st and 10, we're marking it as a 4th and 1. Like, if it should be a 1st and 10, give the guy a 1st and 10.
Now, when this happens, I mean, we have to see how it looks.
Yep.
But it's going to be interesting if how many times that this gets overturned, because you're right. How many times have you seen in a football game in the NFL just like random spots?
It happens a lot.
You're like, what?
And nobody says anything. It just carries on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, man. I'm glad that they're doing this. What's another thing that you wish the NFL would do? I wish the NFL would just go back to regular kickoffs. The kickoff rule
have to go back to regular kickoffs. They have to go back. That's one. And here's the other thing. I just saw Pro Football Talk say they want to make the regular season overtime rule match the postseason overtime rule.
Okay.
So make the regular season overtime rule match postseason. I would be in favor of that. For example, baseball doesn't match their extra inning rules.
Right.
Now we're putting the runner at second until the postseason when we're not putting a runner at second. I'm not opposed to putting the runner at second because I don't need to be there for 16 innings. We're doing post-game shows.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
But in the postseason, I can't have a runner at second base.
You cannot.
I can't win Game 7 of the World Series that way.
No shot. It's like you got to go back to the regular ball.
Yeah.
Have to.
I mean, are you saying across all sports something or the NFL?
No, just the NFL.
I think the kickoff thing to me is a pretty big one. I'm watching the Super Bowl. They're not even explaining it. They're putting this whole like landing zone up. Like, come on, guys. Come on. Like that to me is a missing the mark moment. Now, if it's for health and safety, but you can't sell me on health and safety. You're playing football.
Right. And you're about to expand to potentially 20
more games. Yeah. Exactly. More markets, more games, more international travel.
Hey, you're going to travel to London.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
We're playing in Sao Paulo, Brazil, but the safety. I mean, you can't have it always. Mm-hmm. Now, across all sports, like, again, I think, you made a really good point on Manfred. We're like, this guy's been vilified. But if you push across the two biggest changes in 100 years, which would be pitch clock and ABS, are those like the two biggest baseball changes in 100 years?
Absolutely.
And runner at second, truthfully.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I think a lot of purists hate it. I personally think it's great for in the regular season.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because nobody wants to sit there for 17 innings. Nobody. Not even.
No one. Not the players.
Not the players. Not even the diehard, like most pure, like you don't want to sit there for 4.5 hours.
You're burning through your bullpen, and the coaching staffs don't want it, and the general managers don't want it.
Right. I think in the regular season, it's great. And yes, Rob Manfred gets a lot of crap, as he should. But coming up with getting the pitch clock and now the ABS, getting those things through, you shorten the game. It makes it so much better for our viewing experience. I mean, is he becoming a better commissioner than, say, Adam Silver is?
The perception is he's awful, but if he actually makes changes that brings more people to the game or popularizes it or brings more revenue to the sport, then it's almost like politics. It's like, who cares what you think about politics, but if things are getting done that are beneficial, that work for you and your family, you're probably in favor of that. Does that make sense? Like Rob Manfred is not wildly popular, but if he's creating revenue for the owners and if he's bringing more eyeballs to games and more people, butts and seats, which he has, by the way, then I guess you kind of live with him saying it's a hunk of metal about the World Series trophy or whatever the comments he's made over there. He's made ridiculous comment after ridiculous comment. The CBA negotiation, he was outspoken. The players hated what he said then. So, I mean, it's one of those things like show me the sausage, not how it's made. If he shows us automatic balls and strikes and pitch clock and runner at second, and that's improved the sport, then he gets credit for it.
And we're in a time where we have the technology to get things done. So get it done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of having to have like, oh, wait for this and wait for that. It's like, no, it can get done now. Get it done. Like the ABS. I've seen enough. It's great. I love it. Get it done. Like, why are we waiting?
That is still odd to me. Like, you're going to play hundreds of spring training games. There are hundreds. Every single team is playing 30 games. There's 30 teams. So do the math on it. There's hundreds of spring training games and you don't have enough data.
Did you see, by the way, today, where is it? Let me find this. So I don't know exactly what game this was.
Right.
I think it might have been I think it was the Dodger game. ABS says that a pitch missed by 4 nanometers.
So like whatever that even is.
For it was called a strike, or I think it was called, I don't know what it was called. Anyway,
But they changed it based on 4 nanometers?
They changed it on 4 nanometers from either a strike to a ball, or they kept it a ball as a ball.
See, that's why I don't want every pitch being ABS.
4 nanometers.
That's what I'm saying. I say just challenge it. And if you're right, you're right. You're wrong, you're wrong.
Like, look at this thing, dude.
But if everything is within 4 nanometers, that to me is a little much. That's crazy. I don't even, that's absurd.
What?
I don't even know what that means.
It's 1/1000 millionth. Oh, yeah. It's equal to 1/100000th of a meter.
Each one. So 4 of those.
Yes.
4 1/100000th of a meter. 4 1/100000th of a meter.
Wait till they get to picometers.
Right.
I
exactly.
want a game to end on a missed call by 4 nanometers.
Well, that's the thing. Do we want a World Series game ending in that manner?
I want chaos.
That's going to create chaos. And there will be some chaos in 2026. I do buy that. There's going to be some chaos that comes with it beginning in 2026. And when you put this thing in the postseason, oh, man, you're going to have some unbelievable endings or moments related to automatic balls and strikes.
But you know, but what it does is because Major League Baseball, they can't touch the umpires. They can't.
Yeah, right. They're part of a union.
They're part of a union. They have their own thing. They cannot hand out discipline for umpires being awful.
Right.
What this does holds everybody accountable, and it's plain as day.
Yeah.
On the big screen.
Like, you
this
got
guy
it wrong,
sucks,
dude.
and he got it wrong.
Or maybe the players get it wrong.
Maybe they do.
I don't know what the percentages have shown so far.
I don't know either.
Are the umpires getting 60% right or 30% right?
And that's a good question. I don't
50?
know.
Maybe it's going to be close to 50-50.
But what I can guarantee you is there will be a lot of times when players in the future challenge a call from an umpire that was a really bad call. It will be shown as such.
How bad a call was. Yeah, like you said, that's 4 nanometers. Wait until it's 14 inches.
Yeah, then it will be
and
like,
it's a foot,
oh my
it's
God.
a foot plus. Guys are missing up.
Yep.
That's why I almost wonder if the NFL is doing it now because their union for the refs is just like, well, you guys are just spotting the ball. You know, we're not losing any power. Well, you know, we're not losing any power. We're still, you know, the penalties and everything is still 100% on us. And you guys are just going to spot the ball for us and tell us where to put it. Baseball, on the other hand, is like, ooh, but you're going to start questioning, you know, whether we're making the correct calls and stuff. I don't know if you like that. So I think that might be why they're dragging their feet, opposed to NFL's like, yeah, whatever. You're going to spot the ball. We don't care.
We'll have more on it as we learn more about it. The idea of electronic spotting coming to the NFL in 2025. Tom Penn is the CEO of San Diego FC. Their home debut is Saturday. He will join us at 3 p.m. We'll give away a 4-pack of tickets to Shamrock Music and beer on the other side. And coming up next, how about this for a tease? I believe the Mavs may have made a mistake.
Wait,
we'll explain on the other side of Jon and Jim. right, Jon and Jim back with you. San Diego Sports 760. A reminder, we are on the all-new iHeartRadio app. And if you have not yet downloaded it, now is time. And when you do download it, in fact, if you're listening right now, if you wouldn't mind opening the app, you have presets now. And you can put Jon and Jim in your presets. You can listen to interviews that we've done or hours of the show that we've had. So you can listen on demand. Put San Diego Sports 760 in there, and you're going to get live shows. Plus, you're going to get live San Diego FC games and live San Diego State basketball and football games and more. So if you have not downloaded the all-new iHeartRadio app, now is the time. And make sure to put us in your presets. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760.
Yeah, we told you yesterday, we're in a straight competition in our building to have the most presets as your number one for San Diego Sports 760.
So can you do us?
Let's do us a solid.
Solid.
Yeah, I mean, all we're asking is you just, download the iHeartRadio app and put San Diego Sports 760 in your presets. And then, oh, by the way, put Jon and Jim in your presets as well. We need your help. So it's very easy, unless you're John Schaefer, who will never have an updated
For whatever reason,
app.
I don't have access to the app, but you do. So download it and make sure to put us in your preset. So the Lakers last night, in the first of two regular season meetings remaining between the Lakers and the Mavs, they're still going to Dallas. But the Lakers at home, they were 9 or 10-point favorites. They win by 8, 107-99. But, I mean, we're going to look back on this. There's no guarantee, but there's a very good chance we look back on this and be like, what on earth were you thinking? I mean, that is a fair statement. So Luka's overall line, he only scored 19 points. He had 15 rebounds and 12 assists.
Triple dub.
I mean, they win. He's paired with LeBron right now, but even in the future, he's only 25 years of age. Is this going to go down as historically crazy? It already has the makings of that. He's only played 5 games. He's played 5 games for the Lakers. He's 25 years of age, though. We're going to look back on this and be like, how did this, in fact, actually occur?
There was a moment last night where I think Luka hit a 3 early on, and he immediately turned to the Mavericks bench and just started mother effing them to death. And then I don't know who took this picture, but there's a amazing picture of Luka from behind staring over at the Mavericks bench, and you see Nico Harrison in the crowd just staring at Luka. And now after the game, I don't know if you heard or saw what he said. Luka was asked about his pregame warmups where Nico was on the court, like 15 feet away from him. And they asked him, did you see Nico Harrison? And did you make did you say hi to him or whatever? And he goes, I didn't see him. And he was standing like right there. The shade that Luka was throwing on Nico and Jason Kidd, by the way, is legendary. And I just look at this trade as one of the all-time what the F were you thinking moments.
Kind of no matter what happens, but you know what's going to happen. He's going to win in LA, and it's going to look like the most ridiculous trade, maybe, I don't know, in NBA history, but it's going to go down as a ridiculous trade.
I thought it was funny, too. The fans started going, thank you, Nico.
Yeah, I mean, and that's going on in Dallas, and he can't go. He's going to like high school games or college games, and they're chanting like fire Nico. He's going to an SMU game in Dallas as the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, scouting future players, and they're saying fire Nico. I mean, how can you survive that? Even if this was, I said this last night to Sammy on the way out of the Aztec game, say, even if you feel as if the reward is greater than the risk, like even if you feel like there's a reason, there's a method to the madness, the perception is it's madness, and that matters in sports. The perception is basically what counts here. Even if you win a title along the way, I just don't know how you overcome trading away a top 3 player at 25 years of age. Like that still is nonsensical to me.
And you look at where the Lakers are right now. They are, where is it?
4th place in the West, right?
Fourth place in the West?
I think they're 4th place in the West.
Okay. So look at the standings here. They're 4th place in the West.
They won a game or 2 of 2nd place, maybe 2 games.
They are 2 games out of the 2 seed.
2 games.
If they stay at 4, wouldn't be that bad of a matchup because they would face the Rockets in the first round. They would win that series.
But then they'd match up with Oklahoma City in the semifinals before the conference finals.
But Luka has historically torched OKC.
No, exactly. That's what we've been saying. We said all week. I mean, are you going to take Oklahoma City or are you going to take the Lakers if they meet in the postseason?
the Mavericks right now are sliding.
Yep.
They're the 9 seed.
Right.
They've lost 2 in a row. Half their team is injured. Anthony Davis, shocker, he's out with injury. Clay is a shell of himself. He had a good game last night, though. Kyrie is trying to carry that team, but he can't. It's just, I'm sorry, it's not going to work.
Was that obviously we had the Aztecs. Was that a game? Like the 8-point margin, was that the right margin? As in, were they down 18, they lost by 8, or was it a 2-point game with 2 minutes to play and they lost by 8?
It was a back and forth game.
Okay. Yeah, like a relatively competitive regular season game.
Yeah, and the Lakers pulled away late.
Yeah, I got you.
At one point it was a tie game in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes to play.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it was actually a really good game.
Good game, yeah. By the way, the numbers back it up. So this had 2.5 million viewers, the most for an NBA game on TNT since opening night. So that's resonating. How could it not? And this game's being played late. This is in the West. This game doesn't tip off until 10 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
And there's 2.5 million viewers there. So it's resonating. I think for the NBA, hey, you're cool with it. Luka's on the Lakers.
You love it.
For the Dallas Mavericks and their fans and their future, like this is a little bit of like a curse of the Bambino type possibility. I'm just saying that's possible. Is it not? That's always a possibility now. You traded away Luka at 25. You're going to now have to deal with those consequences on the other side.
And it's not like the Mavericks are a bad team. They just have a bunch of injuries right now.
And historically, they're not a bad team over the last 20 years.
Now, I think over a long period of time, Lakers are better well suited than the Mavericks are. But in the here and now, I would love to see both teams at full strength to see how that would go. Because then you could really see what, all right, Nico made, this and that, but like,
didn't he have AD had the big 10 minutes in his debut before he got hurt, right?
Well, yeah, he scored like 25 points in those 10 minutes.
Exactly.
It was
we
an
haven't
amazing
heard from
10
him
minutes.
again.
We have not. It's going to go down as one of, I think, the most shocking and potentially worst trades, lopsided trade ever. And the last thing you'd want to do is piss off a generational talent like Luka, and he's pissed off.
All right, call right now if you want a free 4-pack of tickets to the Shamrock Music and Beer Festival, March 15th in the Gas Lamp, 2 to 10 p.m. Live music, Irish fare, and more. 877-767-4760. Caller 5, you're going to the Shamrock Music and Beer Festival. 877-767-4760. It's an iconic celebration. It transforms the Gas Lamp. It's the Emerald Isle of the West Coast. It's got a full lineup of top Irish and Celtic rock bands, iconic tribute performances, and more. 877-767-4760. We have a free 4-pack of tickets to the Shamrock Music and Beer Festival. Saturday night at Snapdragon, the largest crowd ever in the building for San Diego FC, and their CEO, Tom Penn, will join us on the other side. Will get us ready for Saturday. San Diego FC, St. Louis City, the home debut of SDFC. Tom Penn joins us next right here on Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. We'll start with the Aztecs. Huge win last night over New Mexico, 73-65. Next up, they take on Wyoming this Saturday. Of course, you can listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. And following that game on Saturday night, the home debut of San Diego FC against St. Louis. Of course, the entire match can be heard on our sister station, 95.7. You can catch the game also here on San Diego Sports 760. In Cactus League play, John, the Padres ended their 3-game losing streak, beating the Chicago White Sox 3-1. Tomorrow, they take on the A's. Moving over to basketball last night, Luka Doncic in his first game against the Lakers put up a triple-double. Lakers beat the Mavericks last night. Waiting for your morning cup of coffee, like a slow drain to clear. Winter's rains make roots grow in drain pipes. Call Anderson Plumbing Rooter Drain Services with their $63 drain stoppage guarantee. Say goodbye to slow drains. Book online. Anderson Plumbing Rooter Drain Services.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It is hour 2 of Jon and Jim, and it is great to start the hour talking with Tom Penn, who has been on the show before, CEO of San Diego FC. He's been on the job for, well, really years at this point, leading up to this past Sunday with this just marquee moment for the franchise, winning against the MLS Cup champions in the LA Galaxy, and now getting ready for the home opener Saturday night. Limited tickets at sandiegofc.com. They're expecting a historic crowd this weekend at Snapdragon, Saturday at 7:30. San Diego FC and St. Louis City, a match you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. I wanted to start here, Tom, and thank you for joining us. You've worked, your career in sports. Where does Sunday rank for you, just like professionally, to have that type of moment? It's one thing for a franchise to debut. It's another thing to debut in the manner in which SDFC did. So where does that rank? And thanks for hopping on.
Thanks for having me. Wow, what a great day that was for the community and for, this entire project. To say hello that way was really a unique opportunity. When we got scheduled in that manner, that was before the Galaxy were becoming the 6-time champions, right? Mm-hmm. So, and before Apple had decided to do Sunday Night Soccer, which is their new feature of the week. So those two things, really hyper-focused all the attention on it. And it created, what I'd call a big bang moment, where we had the chance to just go show everybody kind of who we are and who we intend to be. For years, I've been trying to explain what this is going to be. And it's totally different now, expressing who we really are, both on the pitch and in the stands. I mean, the opportunity for our supporters to go up there 1,000 strong and make that kind of statement as well was equally important in terms of expressing who we are right now.
Tom, Saturday is going to get here and it's going to be a whirlwind for you. But leading up to that, as far as expectations go, can you even think about what you're going to see on Saturday, or is it something that you feel like you're going to be shocked and blown away by?
Well, no, I've thought a lot about every second of it because we're in the process of sort of planning all the special features and all the, the tribute to ownership, the sequence of unveiling a brand new ritual that we're going to do to start each game, which we're really excited about. So all that is sort of pretty clear in my mind. The only thing that's always unclear is what's going to happen when that game starts, right? And how's the match itself going to play out? You never know. We know our style of play is an exciting one where we want to push tempo and score goals. And, frequently we may get scored upon. We will get scored upon. So the emotional roller coaster of the actual match is totally unknown. And then what's also unknown is just how the whole stadium's going to react. And I know the supporters are going to bring it, and they're going to bring all sorts of chants and songs and flair. And what's unknown is when you get 32 plus 33,000 people in that building, when you're like, whoa, what does this feel like? That's impossible to imagine, but so exciting to think about.
Yeah, that's where I was going with, is like from a fan standpoint here. I mean, you guys had almost 1,000 fans of supporters going up to, Carson for your first match. And this match right now, you guys tweeted out earlier today, expected to be the largest crowd ever at Snapdragon Stadium. I mean, and that's got to be a pretty big accomplishment once Saturday gets there, that you guys can put your stamp on as of right now, potentially, having the largest crowd ever at Snapdragon.
Yeah, we're going to definitely have the most people in the gates, in the doors, butts in seats, enthusiastically there. This is a historic moment. So typically if you have a ticket, you show up, right? So we should see a really high show rate, and then just the overall excitement of it all. This is 30 plus years in the making for this community. When MLS expanded over 30 years ago, when they launched, they wanted to be in San Diego. You hear the original leaders, reflect on that. And for a variety of reasons, it just never happened. So along comes Saquon, the original inhabitants of the land, saying they want to step up and make this happen. And we find this incredible partnership with Sir Mohammed Mansour and Right to Dream. And you finally get that combined with the Snapdragon Stadium being constructed, coming out of the dirt, a real reality. It was all perfectly aligned, finally, for San Diego to get Major League Soccer.
No doubt about it. Tom Penn is San Diego FC's CEO. And again, the home opener is Saturday night at 7:30. So for our listeners, Tom, what do you want people to know? Like you said, there's going to be 33,000 plus people at Snapdragon. The match is going to get underway around 7:30, but gates are going to open well before that at 5:30. What do you have planned for those that are going to be there for the first match ever at home for San Diego FC?
Well, first of all, come early, right? You said gates open at 5:30, parking lots open at 2 or 2:30, something like that. And tailgating is back. We know how much tailgating has happened on that plot of land through the years, and we want to bring it back. And that's full on green light, go. We're doing a fan fest on the east side of the stadium out on the lawn. That's just going to be awesome, with all kinds of activities for kids, for adults, for any soccer fan. And then, once the gates open, the first 30,000 people through the door get a free scarf, which is an inaugural classic giveaway item. It's like a $30 item. And so everybody in the whole place is going to have a scarf. So I have no idea if people are going to start waving scarves, raising their scarves. That'll be fun to see what organically happens. We've got food and drink upgrades all over the place in that stadium. We're expanding the concourse on the east side so that there are more bathrooms and more points of sale. We got all kinds of cool merch available, and, the usual bells and whistles. The show is going to start around 7:10, 7:15, where we're going to do all this preliminary one-time kind of stuff. We've got a really cool ritual that I talked about earlier, where we're going to release the energy of San Diego into the stadium. And then away we go at 7:30 with kick.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Tom Penn joined us here, CEO of San Diego FC. Sunday night, like on the field, Tom, what was your impression of just how you guys played? That second half, you could not have asked for a better second half. A goal right out of the jump there in the second half, and then closing it off there with Anders Dreyer scoring a second goal of the match. Just from a how they played standpoint, what was your impression of the team?
I thought they were true to the identity that Mikey Varas is instilling. It was consistent with what I saw through all of our 5-6 weeks of training. He wants to be brave, relentless, with a fighting team spirit. So what does that mean? That means we're possession oriented and controlling the ball. We press like crazy to put pressure on them when they have the ball in their half. That's why we got the easy goal early, is because we've just been pressure, and they had one misplay, and Chucky immediately found Anders, who hammered it into the back of the net. Then after that, we continued to control the game. We absorbed their pressure, and then we countered. And how about that bit of skill on the ultimate give and go that took about, I don't know, 80 yards and 10 seconds to play out, where Tommy Enhel made the pass. Anders made that amazing pass back to Tommy, who took two defenders with him, waited, and cleverly just put it right on the money for Anders to hammer it again. So that's what I've seen in training. You're going to see more of that, where we're going to be high press, high possession, expressing a high degree of skill. And then, we need those finishers like Chucky and Anders and Marcus, Tommy, to finish on score. And that'll be the difference.
Tom, final one for me, and you kind of touched on it, but just spending the time you have around San Diego and launching this club, and you've been around Major League Soccer. What is it? I mean, this market, like you said, 30 years ago, there was interest in having an MLS team in San Diego. It just never came to be for whatever reason. But what is it about San Diego that is truly unique, even with, and this will play out, we don't fully know yet. We haven't even seen the home match, but what do you think it is in your, 2-year run up that makes San Diego unique into itself within this league?
Well, San Diego is such a distinct place geographically because of the separation, right? I mean, with Camp Pendleton cutting it off from Orange County in LA, and with the mountains to the east and the border and the binational nature, we all know that, right? So there's just this distinct DNA to this place. And I say soccer is in the DNA of this community. It just has been forever, because the weather's perfect. Everybody participates. Everybody played as a kid. A disproportionate number of national team players come from this community, like Luca Della Torre, who now plays for us. And it's just a pipeline of talent that's had to leave and go elsewhere. So you've got all that at the high participation level. And then just the binational mixer down here is real. I mean, this is really a cross-border community. We know that Mexico loves soccer more than anything. And that infuses into the DNA and the generations of people that are here. So, I mean, Chucky Lozano is going to be a superstar in this town once the rest of the town really understands who he is. And he's so gregarious and warm and fan engaging. I mean, he signed every autograph. I've never seen an athlete like this. He never doesn't stop. He always stops to sign. So San Diego is just a special place, and we aspire to be relevant, meaningful, important, and value add to this entire community. And we want to bring together the whole community woven into one around their love of this club.
Well, we're looking forward to Saturday. We really are, right here on San Diego Sports 760. You can hear the match. And of course, a lot of you will be out there at Snapdragon Stadium. And I will say this, that moment Chucky Lozano created for that young fan when he took the jersey off his back.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something that I think will be forever, entrenched in that young person's mind. Plus, for the club, I mean, that's just an unbelievable moment to have your star in such a personable moment with a young fan that's first ever match. I mean, you can't buy something like that. So, Tom, we're looking forward to Saturday. Again, limited tickets at SanDiegoFC.com. 7:30 is the start time, but get there early. And, Tom, congratulations on everything. And I'm sure it'll be a easy Saturday, right? You'll just be in your seat, kick back, enjoy the night. I'm sure it'll be a simple night for you.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Let's go SDFC.
There we go. Tom Penn, CEO of San Diego FC. We can react to that on the other side. Plus, we saw something today that we haven't seen this spring from the Padres, and we'll explain on the other side. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, at 4:30. It's Jon and Jim. right, we do have the Brian Dutcher show tomorrow night at 6. And I'll catch up with Brian Dutcher beginning tomorrow night. We'll talk about the big win yesterday against the University of New Mexico at Viejas. Just one home game remains, by the way. Senior night against Nevada. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. But
maybe I'll get there.
Yeah, well, if you don't, you're not going to go this season, but you might go next year. Anyway, we'll preview Saturday as well against Wyoming right here in your home of the Aztecs. San Diego Sports 760. Yeah, you haven't been. I haven't seen it, but that's okay because they're playing well. I know. You've been watching, and they're playing well, and I kind of feel like you're a jinx in general.
I just know
that if you go and lose, I will never let you live it down.
Correct.
And that is accurate. I will never let you live that down.
You're never going to let me hit the end of it. So I just can't take the risk.
Yeah, so I went never go.
Look, I went last year to a couple games.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And they made the Sweet 16, so I felt okay.
What game did you go to?
What game did I go to?
All I know is I see a lot more Joe Musgrove and Jackson Merrill at Viejas than I see of like you. But that's okay. I like Joe Musgrove. I like Jackson Merrill. I like you. But again, they made the national championship and you were nowhere within 100 yards of any arena.
It started to become something of like, Jim, you can't go.
Correct.
And so I was like, okay. Even though we broadcasted
one for the team.
Even though we broadcasted so much from outside of Viejas Arena that year.
That's right. Yeah. But you never, that is so crazy. They go to national championship and you're just sitting like 25 yards from the front gates. Well,
again, like I said, it became a thing where it's like, Jim, you can't go.
I know. I remember it. Let's just keep that forever.
I think also too, I mean, look, people are like, oh, stop crying about it.
Let me hear.
Living in Imperial Beach. Like,
my gosh.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
Well, how could you say that? Because you go to Snapdragon? I mean, which is the same thing. It's like a mile away. Now, I get it. It's like what we've said before. It's like for you to go to the new arena in Oceanside.
That's a tough one.
Like that is far. And if you're doing it on Monday through Friday, it's probably challenging. It's like coming from North County, where I live, to Petco on weeknights. That can be hard. You see the traffic from North County to downtown on a Friday night for a Padres game when they're playing Atlanta or the Dodgers. I mean, so I do get that, but get to an Aztec game. Be a man. All right. Okay. So something happened today that we haven't seen this spring. Do you know what it is? And I'm being serious when I say it. I mean, it's not overly. Okay, let me just tell you. But you're not going to guess it.
No, I'm not going to guess it.
Luis Campusano appeared in the game, and Fernando Tatis Jr. was in camp officially.
Oh, I know that.
Both have battled the flu. We finally saw Campy return and appear, and we saw Fernando Tatis Jr., practice, backfield, catch, whatever occurred here today. It's been about a week because they reported Thursday or Friday position players.
Yeah.
So he had been out for like 5 or 6 days. I'm talking about Tatis specifically, and Campy too. They've been out for 5 or 6 days. And we said yesterday, I stand by it. Tatis, you have so much time. He's dealt with so many real things like injuries and he bounces back quick. Like off an injury, this guy's ready to go. He doesn't need time. He doesn't need camp. I firmly believe that. He needs like 10 plate appearances.
Oh yeah,
for me, and he would be fine. Now, Luis Campusano is a different story. He's basically like trying to make a team.
Did you see today Campy's new batting stance?
Yes. Well, I saw on social media. Yes, I did.
How many?
I was going to say he's had a lot.
Batting stances is this guy going to have?
He's had a lot.
I want him to succeed very badly.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. It feels like there have been so many like times that you're just trying to see if something sticks on a wall. Eventually, you're not, and nothing's going to stick.
Right. So let's see. So a year ago, how many batting stances has he had as a 25-year-old though?
Multiple.
5?
Maybe.
I think every year it seemingly has changed. But yeah, he's got a distinct difference between last year and this year. Of course, he didn't hit last year and ended the year in AAA. So you got to change something because he is not even guaranteed. When we had Kevin on Monday, and he'll be back with us at 4:30 today. I mean, it's not like the guy's guaranteed anything, right? Like he's not guaranteed anything. There's a world where he doesn't get much playing time in 2025 if things go poorly. He's hurt or ineffective. He spends the year in AAA. Like he's not guaranteed. He's not some golden goose. Here's the reins. Go enjoy 100 games as starting catcher. That's not a guarantee. He's got to go earn it.
Oh, absolutely has to earn it. And he's a guy that, like, this is it for him. in my opinion.
Here is in San Diego. It is.
If it's not this year, it's not going to be a year, man.
Not here. I still
Right.
think he would get a second chance in another organization, but again, you have to earn it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Catchers, you can have around forever. Like Austin Hedges.
Forever.
I mean, Austin Hedges is around, but again, he's a much better defensive catcher than Campy ever.
I was going to keep. That's his career.
Exactly.
10 plus years, right? Probably.
And we all thought Campy's bat was going to take that, that jump. And I'm sure he'll have moments, but can he have those be sustained? Can he have that through an entire season?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. I really don't. I hope, but if Campy's not going to take that step, then the backstop's going to be an issue for this team.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that because you are thinner there than you were a year ago, or the expectation is you're not going to be as good as you were a year ago there, right? Because a year ago you got great production from your catcher and Kyle Higashioka. The expectation is you're not getting that same amount of production. Like you're going to have to show us, like if they get that same amount of production, something went really well. Like, wow, if Luis Campusano becomes 2024 Kyle Higashioka, that would be amazing. Mm-hmm. So that's not my expectation. My expectation is they don't get the same amount of production from catching in 2025 than they got in 2024.
Yeah, I don't know if they will.
Yeah, and at this point, it's like this whole, he's young, or catchers take a while. He's not young.
He's 25.
He's older than that, I think. Let's see. Luis Campusano is... That's a long pause. 26 years and 150 days old today.
Wow.
How much older do you have to be? I get there's late bloomers. There's pitchers that make in their 30s that have nice 5-7 year windows. And there's catchers that do make in their late 20s. But like at some point, it's like, come on, let's go here.
Yeah, I just thought it was very concerning last year how he lost his spot to Higgy.
Like you've been in the big leagues. This upcoming year is your 6th year. Yeah. He debuted in 2020.
I remember that. Remember that
got hurt.
Yeah, Oakland hit a home run, immediately got hurt.
Like broke a hand or a thumb or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it too.
Always been an issue with him.
Yeah.
And this is not a spot that, this is a very important spot on your roster. So, yes, he did catch a no-hitter last year. Great. But I just look at the fact that he lost his starting job and the team sent him down.
Yeah, and he wasn't part of the postseason roster.
That's way more of a red flag and an eye popper than him catching a no-hitter last year.
Yeah, no, completely agree. Completely. All right, Kevin Acey with more on that coming up at 4:30 here today. Also, still ahead, your chance to win a pair of tickets to the 2025 BNP Paribas Open in the Coachella Valley. These are tickets for March 12th. We'll give those away in the 4:00 hour. But there are talks underway in the NFL with a star quarterback. We'll let you know the latest after this, Jon and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. We'll start with the Aztecs last night. Huge win over New Mexico, 73-65. Next up, they take on Wyoming on Saturday night. And Cactus League play, Padres, they have ended their 3-game Cactus League losing streak as they beat the White Sox today, 3-1. Tomorrow, they take on the, I want to say Oakland A's so bad, but it's just the Athletics. Waiting for your morning cup of coffee like a slow drain to clear. Winter rains make roots grow and drain pipes. Call Anderson Plumbing Routing Drain Services with their $63 drain stoppage guarantee. Say goodbye to slow drains. Book online, Anderson Plumbing Routing Drain Services.
All right, Kevin Ace, your Padres Insider at 4:30. This is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760. Again, find us on the iHeartRadio app. Put us in your presets. San Diego Sports 760 for live radio, including live play-by-play of San Diego FC and the Aztecs, football and basketball. And then put Jon and Jim in your presets as well. You'll have on-demand content from us, hours and interviews from our shows. I wasn't going to start here, but I'm glad you just said that. I hadn't realized that the Oakland A's are now referred to moving forward as the Athletics. Is that who they are? They're not the Sacramento A's or the Las Vegas. They're the Athletics.
They want to be referred to as the Athletics, and I believe it's the San Jose Mercury News or the big publication up in the Bay Area has come out publicly and said, no, we are not going to refer to you as only the Athletics. We're going to refer to you as the Sacramento A's, which is
are we alive back there?
Which is completely against what the A's have come out and said, which I think is great.
Are the A's doing it because they're now like vagabonds and moving? So when they get to Las Vegas, will they be the Las Vegas A's, or will they continue this like Washington football team feel and be the Athletics?
Who knows? Who knows even if they're going to get anything done there, because they're so incompetent as a franchise that getting an actual new stadium built, I still think people don't think it's going to happen.
Has their logo changed? Because the iconic A's on the top of the circle says Oakland. On the bottom of the circle says Athletics.
The logo is not. Now, this year, they did release their home games. They're going to be wearing the gold tops.
Right. Which is like typically their alternate, right? Yeah. Their day top, I would say. They wear it during day games.
Yeah, but there's no signage on the patch, on the sleeve.
Dude, wait until the spin job. They sold out 54 games. Yeah, your place holds 12K. Dude, you're gonna sell out all your games.
It's like the Chargers back when with the Carson.
Sold out Carson. We're great.
And then you look at all the average attendance for all the teams. It's like 65, and like 12K.
And all the fans are wearing Chiefs jerseys.
It would be funny, like Anaheim might have like the state of California on like their sleeve or something.
Yeah,
they'll just have like the whole United States because they don't know where they're going to be in like 2 years.
And honestly, like it's not honestly, like, to continue on this for 2 seconds, it's not about their fans, and it's not about Sacramento, and truthfully, it's not about Las Vegas. It's all about their organization. Like, you know what? Hopefully, there is like, I mean, you don't want one of the 30 franchises to be completely irrelevant for forever. I don't feel like it's good for the other 29. The truth is, their history is a really good one. Their history is a really significant one, and even in their cost-cutting days, the Moneyball era, the prospect-laden A's, they would get to the postseason. Now they've just completely fallen off the face of the earth, and nobody's heard from them for the last decade.
It's the owner, and it is the, I guess, CEO of the team. It's like they're Eric
sideways.
They're Eric Grupner, and they're John Seidler.
They're equivalent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the two people that are the most incompetent.
Right.
Like awful people when it comes to their jobs in the organization. Everything else, I can't blame it all. The players, the fans, the GM, the people that work in the.
They're just doing their job. If you're a player, you might have been drafted there.
Right.
I mean,
but their CEO and their owner are the absolute worst.
Their second ever home series in Sacramento is against the Padres. So their second ever home series is April 7th through the 9th. That will be against the Padres. And guess what? That's going to sell out.
Yes, it will.
There's going to be a lot of Padres fans. My guess would be in Sacramento.
That's going to be fun to watch.
It's going to be weird to watch.
I can't wait.
Do the Padres play in or against the Rays on the road this year? Because they're also playing in a minor league stadium.
Good question.
I don't know if the Rays come here or not. I mean, they may. It goes back and forth right now. I'm just curious because there's 2 of the 30 teams are playing in minor league stadiums. They come here?
They come here.
Okay. They come here. All right, here's where I want it to go. Your boy,
Steph Curry?
Brock Purdy.
Oh.
So this is now confirmed from John Lynch, right? That they are underway in talking with Brock Purdy about an extension. What is this extension going to look like when we put it in the hierarchy of quarterback contracts in the NFL? This is going to be, where's he going to sit when this is said and done? Because obviously this is going to happen, right? And the only question would be like the terms, how long and at what dollar figure?
I think if you are, if you're the 49ers, you want the quietest, not necessarily, I'm not going to say quietest offseason, but as far as like getting deals done and making trades, you want things to just happen.
You don't need noise, you're saying?
You don't need the drama. You don't need things to linger. They're gonna either cut or trade Debo. That has been already talked about. John Lynch talked about it today at the combine, that they're going to respect his wishes. They have good relationship with him, but the time with Debo is done.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get a contract done with Brock Purdy. They're going to make other moves. They're going to sign players. Like, if you can get all those things done and just have it just go according to plan, that's what the 49ers want for this offseason. Because last offseason was a joke.
Right.
The fact that the Brandon Ayuk situation took up until what? The season, the start of the season to get done. Same thing with Trent Williams and the noise surrounding them coming off of that Super Bowl loss. It was awful, and it trickled down, and it played into the season just as how I thought.
So it's a serious question because I have no idea. You tell me, where is he slotting in among the highest paid quarterbacks? Is there just the assumption, like, where does he move on the list? Because isn't it now? There's the total value is one thing, and then there's the like per year value, right? Because Dak is in what, the 60 million range?
Dak is number one, right?
Okay, and then Burrow at 55, Jordan Love at 55, and Trevor Lawrence.
Give me the
55.
Who's the fifth highest paid QB?
Looks like a Tua 53, Jared Goff 53, Herbert 52.
That range.
So it's like they're all kind of similar, I guess. It's just the cost of doing business at that position.
And I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if Brock is going to want more than that. I don't know if he's going to be like, I don't care. I'd rather just get it done and move forward with it. And I know this is generational money. And if this can help the team out, then I'm all good for that. I don't know which way it's going to go, but I hope it's like somewhere in the middle.
Do you, having followed him for his career, is he the type of player that's going to maximize every penny here? Or is he
I've seen.
Yeah, I would be surprised, to be honest. I figure let's get this thing done and let's put our eyes towards improving on what happened last year.
The only way that it turns into I need to be the highest paid QB in the league is if when agents come in the fold,
he gets pressured into it.
And the agents are like, you are not taking this deal.
Not just the agents, the union, the NFL Players Association, because if he does take making it up 49.5, like, dude, everyone was slotting here in the 50s and you took 49.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know enough about that. That's a big thing with the top of a baseball free agent class. Juan Soto, the union wanted him to get that money.
Oh,
that's good for the union. It's good for Major League Baseball players. I would assume that's the same with star quarterbacks. He is. I mean, he's played in the Super Bowl. He's had a lot of success. Last year didn't go great, but the Eagles didn't go great a year ago either. And then they just won the Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. That happens.
And where's Jalen Hurts on that list?
Jalen Hurts on that list. That's a wonderful question. Jalen Hurts is making $51 million a year and just won the Super Bowl.
So you can win the Super Bowl with a quarterback making $51 million.
Yeah, and that's only like the 10th highest paid quarterback.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure the Eagles are sitting there thinking to themselves, glad we got this locked up now before he won the Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
Yeah, I think he will get pressure from the players union, because I always remember, and calm down, Jim, I'm not saying he's Blake Bortles, but when Blake Bortles won that playoff game and then they re-signed him, he didn't want to sign for the highest paid contract at the time for a quarterback because, he's like, dude, I'm Blake Bortles. I don't deserve this. But
dude, I'm Blake Bortles.
But they forced him. And remember when he took less money, they were pissed at him because, you ruined the scale for everybody that's going to come after you. It doesn't matter if you thought you deserved it. You're supposed to ask for this so then the next guy can get it, and it just goes up, and now you've just ruined it for everybody.
But it's interesting because, like, think about the history of the NFL in the last 15 years. Like, Brady has taken less to build around. Mahomes got that richest deal in terms of overall at the time, but actually per year has been pretty reasonable. Mahomes is at 45, but he took that crazy long deal. Whatever he got paid in that deal was crazy, right? $500 million.
Yeah, something like that
or more. So, like, I kind of get it when the effort is to put in a winning team. Like, that to me is admirable, but I also understand the pressures to everyone's point, agents and the Players Association. Like, yeah, you want to win, but we also want to get our players the maximum amount of dollars.
I think from just like reading stuff in the Bay Area and hearing how they're talking about this and how they've already engaged in contract negotiations, and I don't see this turning into a drama situation. I think this is going to get done peacefully.
Right.
I think this is
right.
I think this is going to get done, and the number is going to be not a number where everyone's like, "Are you serious?" I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be a number where there will be people out there, Nick Wright, Colin Cowherd,
of course, yeah,
that are like, "This is the biggest mistake ever." And then there'll be people more level-headed at no football and be like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, no, that what you're saying makes sense. All right, Kevin Acee will join us at 4:30. We'll get to the wrap coming up at 4 p.m. And also coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, your chance to win a pair of tickets to the 2025 BNP Paribas Open. Paribas. On the other side, we mentioned one potential rule change or change to the NFL in 2025. There's another we'll discuss on the other side. This is Jon and Jim right here on San Diego Sports 760. All right, hit us up on the Talkback mic. Just open the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to San Diego Sports 760. Tap that little microphone icon next to the play button to leave a 30-second talkback. We're Jon and Jim. This is San Diego Sports 760. And again, download the free iHeartRadio app and use the all-new presets. Put us in your presets. Jon and Jim and San Diego Sports 760 on-demand Jon and Jim shows. Put Jon and Jim in your presets and San Diego Sports 760 for live daily sports talk and live San Diego FC play-by-play, Aztec play-by-play as well, football and basketball.
All the play-by-play.
All the play-by-play.
All of it.
Okay, so we touched on this idea that the NFL might implement some type of an electronic down and distance system for ball placement, right?
Kind of like their ABS.
Yes, their ABS. But the NFL is also considering this. We touched on it briefly. Considering changes to the regular season overtime rules, because remember, the regular season overtime rule does not match up with the overtime rule of the postseason, right?
Right.
There's still ties in NFL regular season games. The length is still 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, but don't they get? Wait, what is the rule in regular season?
Right.
It's
both
if
teams currently have an opportunity to possess the ball in overtime unless a touchdown is scored on the first possession.
And then that's the same thing in the playoffs, though, right?
The rules are different in the playoffs, Jim. Both teams get a chance to have a possession, even if the offense scores a touchdown on the opening drive. That postseason change came after the Buffalo Bills lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in a divisional round game in January 2022.
And that's why it was stupid that the 49ers took the ball first, because even if they did score a touchdown, guess what? The Chiefs are going for 2 in the game.
That is what we all said in real time.
I know.
And that was the problem with it. So making the overtime rules the same in the regular season as possible, along with extending the period to 15 minutes. The 10 thing, again, we go back to the health and safety. Are you really saving knees and concussions by having a 10-minute overtime period? Has that lengthened people's lives post-football? Just make it 15 minutes how many overtime games is a team playing on average? Not that many.
I would say,
on average.
Yeah, not that many.
1 or 2.
1 or 2, yeah.
And if you played another 5 minutes to determine a winner of the game, is that really that impactful? You're playing football games on Thursdays after Sundays.
Yeah.
I can't be convinced of that. So would you like to see it match up where both teams get the ball, even if the first team scores a touchdown in the regular season?
No.
You're cool with it ending?
Yeah.
It's regular season. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, I do like the fact all right, if you score a touchdown, it's over. But if you don't, you kick a field goal, then their team gets a chance to get the ball back, and they can kick a field goal to tie it up again, or they can score a touchdown to win. I actually would prefer the college way.
College, yeah, until the third overtime now, though, because now they do the 2-point conversion every play. So you get to the third overtime, Jim's Niners go for 2.
I would just change it and
just keep going from the 25-yard line.
Keep going from the 25, or every single possession in overtime, you have to go for 2.
And honestly, the NFL I'd start from the 35, not the 25.
Right.
The kickers are so darn good.
Take the kickers out.
Yeah.
Because they just take them out.
Right.
Let the game be decided by the offenses, not the special teams.
Well, here's what they say. The competition committee says this, that in the regular season, the teams that receive the ball win 57% of the time. And they're saying, well, that's not right. Because now out of 100, you get 57% one way and 43% the other. That's not a coin flip. So they're saying receiving the ball is that much of an advantage. You're going to win 14% of the time more just by receiving the ball.
Yeah, but that makes sense, though, because if you score the touchdown first.
It does make sense. It absolutely makes sense.
It's like they're baffled by the own rules that they created.
Well, I don't know if they're baffled by it, but they're saying it's not that it's baffling. It's that, do we need to equalize it? Is that such an inherent advantage of 57% win rate just by flipping a coin that we need to now give everyone equal opportunity? That's what it is. You score a touchdown, I score a touchdown. You get the ball at the 25. To your point, I get the ball at the 25.
I kind of miss the urgency of sudden death, honestly, of, pressures on the defense too, to where, we have to get a stop. If we don't get a stop, the game's over right here, opposed to just, if you don't get a stop, it's okay because the offense will have a chance to bail us out. So I'm probably the only person, but I kind of miss sudden death.
It's hard.
I
Because
didn't
the NFL,
hate it.
They only play 17 games, so like if you lose one more game or win one more game, that's pretty big. Like in Major League Baseball, if you lose an extra innings, you have a lot of games. If you lose a game in overtime in the NFL and you go 9-8 as opposed to 8-9 or whatever, vice versa, you could be like in or out of the postseason.
Could you imagine the gambling implications that this would
significant
if they changed it to like the college rule?
It's the overs.
Yeah.
Because now you get to overtime, you're scoring another 20, 30
It's like that
points.
game was 7 overtimes.
Right. And it was like 14-all, and now it's 56-56.
Right,
Yeah.
That'd
It's
be
a
wild.
factor.
I would like that.
So I don't know. Like, what's the biggest thing that we're talking about here? Is it going to 18 games maybe in the future? Is it changing the regular season overtime rule? Is it an ABS type of electronic system maybe to spot the ball in the future? Like, what is the big? Is it what they did with the kickoffs already in 2024 with the whole kickoff rule, whatever it is? I
think
what it is.
Here's a rule that needs to be changed immediately.
Let's hear.
Easy. Pass interference needs to be a 15-yard penalty, not a spot foul.
I completely agree with that. That's the college rule.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Now, the one issue, hear me out in the NFL, I think you're going to take away a lot of receiving yards. If you are, name the receiver, give me the best receiver in the
Justin
league.
Jefferson.
Yeah, okay, Justin Jefferson, right? And you're a deep threat, and all of a sudden, you had 7 receptions of 50 or more yards last year. Just hear me. Aren't you just going to be ripped down by corners?
I don't think it's going to be like as blatant as you think.
Is that?
I don't, because it's not like that in college.
No, but I mean, when you get
Only if
Justin
you get
Jefferson
burned.
in his prime in
Okay.
the NFL, and if he has 8 receptions of 50 or more yards, wouldn't you just tackle him?
Well, maybe, but I also do think that it would be better
I think it's more fair.
and more fair.
It's so
to
hard
have
for the
that.
defender. Now you commit a penalty. It's a 62-yard penalty.
That's
crazy.
Yeah.
I just think if they went the college route, it wouldn't incentivize so much hey, we don't really have a play, so we're just going to chuck it down the field and hope the ref just throws a flag. And, and then that turns into like a 70-yard flag just because of, some incidental contact that should have just been, 15 yards and you get a first down instead of,
Here's the
third down.
Here's the other thing. What if the first pass interference against a receiver is 15 yards, and then from there it's spot?
Ooh, I like that.
You know what I mean? Because if you're targeting a specific receiver, you could actually take them out of the game. Because if you got a guy that goes for 200 yards in a game, and all of a sudden you're going to, we'll take 2 personal pass interference penalties, 15-yarders.
How about you set it up like a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2 in basketball, to where if it's something incidental, it would just be a 1.
Right.
But if it's something to where, oh crap, I'm burned, so I'm going to tackle him because otherwise he's going to score a touchdown, then that would be a 2
foul.
because it was obvious.
I do. Your point is valid. I've always hated that in the NFL.
Me too. Because it is a judgment call a lot of times. Like in the Super Bowl, the very first call of the game was an offensive pass interference.
Right.
And it was not an offensive
that
pass
was a
interference.
terrible call. Against the Eagles?
Against the
That was a
Eagles,
terrible call.
Now that's offensive pass interference.
Yeah, it's different. We don't see it as much.
Yeah. Rarely do you see that.
Yeah.
But defensive pass interference, anytime there's a foul
Yeah, you're like, oh my god,
and a flag and it's a spot foul,
It's like 70 yards. Here's the
especially in the end zone. You know how many times
Oh, I know.
in the NFL over the last just 5 years, how many just like quarterback, I'm going to chuck it up there somewhere.
Flag. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I'll give you here. If
Aaron Rodgers made a career out of that. in Green
right
Bay.
here, I'll give you one other if I was commissioner, because now you got me thinking. I don't like that every defensive penalty is an automatic first down for the offense. Here's the example. It's 3rd and 17. I commit a hold. It's now first down. I commit a 5-yard hold. A defensive hold is a 5-yard penalty on 3rd and 17.
Yeah.
It's an automatic first down.
Yeah.
That to me is so skewed towards the offense. I get it. The NFL wants points. They don't want 7-6 games. So that's probably why they do it like that. But I'm like, no, it should not be an automatic first down on 3rd and 20 because of a defensive penalty. That doesn't make any sense. It should just be now 3rd and 10.
I agree.
So there's some things that can be tweaked in it. And also they've gotten carried away with the quarterback protections.
Oh, yeah.
And that is, whether it's the personal fouls against quarterbacks in the pocket or the lack of an ability to touch a quarterback once they're out of a pocket and sliding. I mean, there's some things that like competition committee stuff that they should be looking at.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Imagine if they took the slide out. you can't slide anymore. Or if you do slide, you're still considered a runner.
But don't you hate that the slide happens and the dude gets bumped like 15 yards? Like you slid. I'm a defensive player. The fake slide. Like what are you supposed to do as a defender? I'm going to fake the slide. Like you got to be able to make a play.
And then you got Mahomes just like flopping everywhere.
Right.
It's like,
My whole thing with the slide was just you have to call it fair. You know, if Mahomes slides and they touch him and it's a penalty, then it should be that way for everybody. I remember Justin Fields would just get his head taken off and he would slide early when he was supposed to, and they wouldn't even get a flag for it. So, you know, unless you're one of the, you know, A-list quarterbacks, you're not getting the call. They're just letting you just take all these shots to the head. But, you know, it's all about safety.
Health and safety. All right, the wrap is on the other side. Plus, we're giving away a pair of tickets to the 2025 BNP Paribas Open. And Kevin Acee, our Padres insider from Peoria, will join the show at 4:30. Hour 3 of Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 is next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. We'll start with the Aztecs. Huge win last night over New Mexico, 73-65. Next up, they'll take on Wyoming this Saturday night on the road. Of course, you can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Tip-off time is at 5 p.m. Pregame starts at 4. And the Padres, they beat the White Sox today in Cactus League play 3-1. Next up, they'll take on the A's tomorrow in Cactus League action. Waiting for your morning cup of coffee, like a slow drain to clear. Winter rains make roots grow in drain pipes. Call Anderson Plumbing Rooter Drain Services with their $63 drain stoppage guarantee. Say goodbye to slow drains. Book online, Anderson Plumbing Rooting Drain Services.
Getting you all set for that drive home.
Do you want me to be more measure-headed this season?
What's measure-headed?
Or what's
measured?
Measure.
I don't want you to be more measure-headed. I don't even know what that means.
What is the word I'm trying to
No, I don't want you to be anyone other than yourself.
Not measure-headed.
Here's the thing.
More measured.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
When you try to be someone you're not,
What's measure-headed?
it's you being an idiot.
True.
Just be you. That's the thing. Like, nobody is listening to us because they want you to be me.
More measure-headed.
Or me to be you. They want you to be a person that doesn't know if Austin is in Massachusetts or in Texas, or if measure-headed is a term or not, or Furman is the school or Furnham is the school, right? They want you, and you need to be able to deliver you.
BOGO means bring your own.
You did say that, didn't you?
I did say that, yeah.
Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760. And Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will stop by in less than 30 minutes at 4:30. So you won't want to miss that. He wrote about something Luis Arraez said within the last few days, that he's a second baseman, even though he's not expected to play second base, really, in 2025. So we'll get into that and more. And the Padres, our national nightmare is over. The 3-game losing streak in the Cactus League is over. Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 4:30.
Shilty's seat is cooled off.
Yes, exactly, in the Cactus League. Also this hour, your chance to win a pair of tickets to the BNP Paribas Open. That is coming up March 12th in the Coachella Valley. All right, so here until 6 p.m. And right now, let's get to this.
It's time for The Wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Who has a better chance to win a championship first, the Lakers or the Mavericks?
At this point in time, it's the Lakers because the Mavericks aren't healthy. And if the Mavericks somehow miss the postseason, they ain't winning the championship this year. Lakers are 2 games out of the 2 seed.
Do you think if the Lakers enter the postseason as, let's say,
It's not necessarily this year, just for
in general, but if they enter the postseason as the 2 seed in the West, will they be the odds-on favorite to win the NBA Finals?
No,
Even as the 2 seed in the West?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, maybe not.
No,
But I mean, they're going to have short odds, is my point.
Well, it's funny you said that. Their height, I think, is going to be what is going to keep them from getting. Because if they get the wrong matchup to where they get Denver, granted they just beat Denver, but somebody that's got a lot of height to them, I think they're going to struggle with that.
Anyway, the answer is the Lakers, whether it's now or later. The answer is the Lakers. Next question.
What do the Aztecs need to do to be a lock for the NCAA tournament?
Win their final 3 games. I think that would put them as a lock to make the tournament.
I agree.
I think that's what it is right there. And if not, then say they lose to say that the scenario of them losing to Wyoming actually happens on Saturday night. I think winning a game in the conference tournament.
I don't know if that would lock them in if they lost to Wyoming. Winning a game in the conference tournament, I would still feel pretty good about their chances. I am with you. I don't see any scenario where San Diego State wins its last 3 regular season games, and no matter what happens in the Mountain West tournament, I don't see how you can keep them out. Like, it's just too good of a resume with wins over Houston and Creighton, a couple of Boise wins last night against New Mexico. So, yeah, I think you win your last 3 and you've locked yourself in. 2 out of 3, you may still have some work to do in the Mountain West tournament. All right, next question.
Should the Rams trade Matthew Stafford?
Did you see the story today? So it's being reported, okay, that let me pull this up because it's a wild report. Okay. All right, Mike Silver quote tweeted it. Where is this? He goes, so Jordan Schultz, you know who Jordan Schultz is? He's like an insider for Fox Sports.
Yep.
He tweeted out sources. Raiders minority owner Tom Brady recently hosted Rams QB Matthew Stafford at his home in Montana.
I heard this, yes.
Where they spent time together and went skiing. Brady has been actively trying to convince Stafford to join the Raiders, and discussions are ongoing. And then Mike Silver quote tweets that. He goes, I have questions. Would this be tampering? If so, did a Fox employee just report that a very visible Fox employee could be in violation of tampering rules? How is that not tampering?
I don't know how it wouldn't be.
Matthew Stafford is a member of the Rams, not a free agent.
And he's being like courted?
Dude, I don't know why the Rams would want to trade Matthew Stafford when they were seemingly pretty close to beating the Eagles last year if it weren't for, like, I don't know, snow.
And like a couple of good defensive plays. I mean, they were at like the Eagles' 15-yard line going in to win.
So I no, they shouldn't trade Matthew Stafford, but as a Niner fan, I wouldn't mind it.
if you left the division. Or we went to the Raiders, because you're just not winning with the Raiders, I would think. No, I think Stafford, I say if you're the Rams, just like go all in again. I mean, you can win with Matt Stafford. That's been proven over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I wouldn't trade Matt Stafford. Again, are you going to have tons of great years with him remaining? No, but can he win next year? Yeah, absolutely he can win next year.
I think it's something to do with the money he's owed. Like next year, he's got a contract bump.
That makes sense.
I don't remember how big one is, but I think it's something to do with that.
Let's get to our next question.
Should the Padres extend Jackson Merrill now?
Well, now, yeah, that'd be nice. Right now,
right? Like literally, that'd be awesome.
At this moment,
please, 4 o'clock today,
4:07 p.m. on February 26th. Like right this moment,
please,
God, something.
Right,
do something. Yes, they need to. Just from our selfish standpoint, give some content.
But is it the smart like? Seriously, like, is it a good organizational strategy? If you were in charge, if you were Preller and you had 5 things you could do, would you do this right now? Because you don't have to do this right now. We've argued, well, your King is due up sooner, or Arise is due up sooner, or Cease. So would you do it now? Again, I mean, it's better than not doing anything. Like if the alternative is they do nothing, like they don't extend Cease or Arise or King or make some sizable trade or add some coveted free agent in the offseason. Like I'd like to see them do something. And I know Merrill's a critical piece for them moving forward, but is this the piece to be done now in the order of needs for the Padres?
Well, it wouldn't fill any needs in the here and now. It would just be giving a guy a contract to keep him here long term.
That's what I'm saying. Needs for the organization, not needs for the team. You're right. The team has Jackson Merrill, and they have him next year. They have him the year after, right? Yeah,
I would love it.
What if I told you King gets extended, and then we don't hear about Merrill's extension for 2 or 3 years?
Totally fine.
What is it the preference? Is it preferred to extend Michael King tomorrow as opposed to Jackson Merrill today?
Yes, I had this discussion like all offseason. And right away, it was, they need to extend Jackson Merrill. And I said, look, yes, they need to extend Jackson Merrill. But the guy they need to extend first over Jackson Merrill is Michael King.
Mm-hmm.
You get him locked up, then I feel very comfortable. And knowing that Jackson Merrill's under team control for the next 5 seasons,
right?
You can get something done in 5 years. But to get something done with Michael King, the second he becomes a free agent, he's gone.
Right.
He's not coming back unless they get something done before the season ends.
This is the like this 2025 year, the way it's kind of trending with their lack of significant moves or signings or spending, to me is like we've said this before, like you gotta just do everything in your power to win right in this exact moment, because there really is going to be a shakeup. Like this might be the last Beatles tour. That's not a great, or Rolling Stones, because if you didn't have a Rise, King, Cease, that team looks way different. If next year's team doesn't have a Rise, King, or Cease, that's way different.
Well, the one thing we do know about Preller is he's going to retool.
Yeah.
It's going to be different players in those King, Cease, Arise positions.
Right.
But you're right. I don't know if you can find someone better than Michael King or Dylan Cease to replace them right away. I don't know if you can find somebody who's going to lead the league in batting average every single year like Luis Arise.
Right.
You're going to find a guy that can finish in top 5 in Cy Young voting next year?
I don't know.
You're going to find a guy that can go out in a postseason game and have 14 strikeouts for you.
And oftentimes you look internal before you look external. You know who these players are.
And they're not players that are going to put up those numbers.
Right.
So, yeah.
I don't know. I'd just be hesitant just to extend him right away just because he only had the 1 year and he's under control for at least like 3 years, if not 5. Yeah. So that's even better. So he's under control. I'm just worried that, say hypothetically they go out and they extend him just off that 1 year. What if he ends up, being sort of injury prone or something like that, to where it's like you would have saw that if you just would have gave it another season to kind of, so you had a bigger sample size instead of just throwing all your eggs in the basket based on this one season, to where, I always look at the Tatis deal, he hasn't played a full season since they gave him, ever, but since he got that deal, he's always hurt. And it's like, if they knew he was going to be hurt as much as he is, do you think they still would have gave him that type of a contract? He still would have got a huge chunk of change, but would he got the same one knowing how many games he was going to miss?
But this goes back to my point, which is like, it's a risk reward. You're right. You could extend Jackson Merrill and he could never be the player he was, or you could extend Jackson Merrill and he becomes a future 2-time MVP and you got him on the cheap. So you got to determine from an organizational perspective, what am I buying? What am I betting on the come on? Am I betting on Merrill to be Merrill from 2024? Or am I betting on Merrill 2024 to be the best season of his career? And from a GM perspective, you got to bet on Merrill to be Merrill. You can't bet on his failure. You have to bet on his success.
And I do think if he does have a good year again this year, next year you have to. I didn't say it was
that's
like
true. That's the compromise.
I didn't say like he had to be extended this year. I would love it if they extended him. But I'm not going to sit here when they go into the season and Jackson Merrill is still on his rookie deal and not signing any extension, where I'm like, you know what? It's like, it's fine. It's not the end. It's not the end of the world. He gets into next year and he say he has another all-star season and he puts together another season with like a 800 plus OPS, right? And you don't extend him next offseason, dude. Then you're gonna start worrying.
Well, that's what I'm going to be worried about, like their actual dollars, like in the bank account for the I'm like, why are they not doing this? Is it solely because of money? But yeah, I buy that. That's a compromise. Let's see him do it again in 2025, and then we can talk extension from there. Kevin AC at 4:30. If you missed our conversation with Tom Penn, we'll play it back for you coming up at 5 p.m. San Diego FC CEO. On the other side, back to what last night meant for San Diego State. The Aztecs pick up another marquee win. They do it without one of their top players in Magoon Guath. We have the latest on Guath as well. Again, Kevin AC at 4:30 and a chance to win 2 tickets to the 2025 BNP Paribas Open for March 12th coming up this hour as well. This is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760. All right, so what could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey guys, it is Schaefer, and Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork and no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. It's your money. You can use it. One client got $150,000 out, paid off all their credit cards, a couple of car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com or 619-207-4336. Get the money you need for anything. 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Here until 6 p.m. Kevin Acee will swing by in 12 minutes. Our Padres insider. He is in Peoria. And if you missed our conversation with Tom Penn, San Diego FC CEO, he will join us as well coming up at 5 p.m. In fact, tomorrow, we have something we want to confirm that could be a really good guest.
How about we just say this?
No, what are you going to say?
I'm going to say that tomorrow
this isn't necessarily for tomorrow.
No. But tomorrow we will have the GM of San Diego FC on our station on Jon and Jim.
Tyler Heaps.
Correct. Tyler Heaps.
Correct.
Will be joining us tomorrow.
Yes.
And you just got an email.
Yes.
That we're trying to lock down.
Big guest alert.
Yeah.
Now, it would be a big guest alert.
You say it.
No, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to say it unless we're going to have him.
Well, they asked if we want him.
Now, people are going to think it's like Chucky Lozano. It's not Chucky Lozano, who hasn't done interviews in anything other than Spanish.
Correct. It would be
but
hard.
he's taken questions in English. What I've noticed, and I saw this Sunday night, he'll take a question in English and then he will answer it in Spanish. And what I've also noticed is they haven't translated it. Like, we're just hearing his answer in Spanish. But no, it wouldn't be Chucky Lozano, but it would be
Tom Brady. He must answer for his Matthew Stafford ski trip.
No,
it's not. I wish. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I'll just say it.
No. Tease.
You'll jinx it.
Tease.
But
let me confirm. I can confirm in 10 minutes. Once it's confirmed, I'll tell our listeners.
Okay.
We're not in the business of hiding anything from anyone. But let's confirm it. But Tyler Heaps is on the show. Let's see. What time is Tyler Heaps on the show? Do you know?
I'm going to say 4:30.
What do you think about 2:30?
That's even better.
Yeah. So Tyler Heaps will join us tomorrow at 2:30. All right. Last night, the Aztecs got the result. I don't know if they had to have, but they got that they really wanted to have. Against New Mexico, first place in the Mountain West, without Magoon Guath, the Aztecs end up winning by 8. It was, I would call it a nail-biting game. Like, they never fully ran away from New Mexico. The Lobos have a terrific player who's out of Riverside right here in Southern California, Donovan Dent. He's terrific. He scored 26 points. He's unbelievable. I think he will be the Mountain West Player of the Year. But credit where credit's due. I mean, without Magoon-Guath, Miles Heide and Pharaoh Compton, Jared Coleman-Jones, and those guards, man, Boyd and Bird and others leading the way. And San Diego State got the win they were seeking. And now calendar flips to March, the next time they're on the floor against Wyoming.
It was nice that they kept that, 7 to 10 point lead, majority of the second half, right?
Yep.
There was a couple moments where it's getting close. And then the Aztecs went on a mini run and they pushed the lead back to, 8 or 10. And a couple huge shots from Nick Boyd, from Miles Bird, and, picking up a huge win there. I think Miles Heide playing the best game of his career was much needed. It's always nice when you play in front of your home crowd because the others, right? They're not as it's not as nerve-wracking when you play at home compared to on the road.
Right.
And then, dude, was it the first half or the second half when Pharaoh Compton had that huge dunk?
That was in the first half.
Dude.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about a thunderous jam. How about the fact that I forget how he ended up with the ball, but he basically drove from a half court.
Yeah, he stole it.
Yeah, okay, he stole the ball. A freshman forward from half court,
incredible,
drove and slammed over one of the best defensive players in the league, Nelly Jr. Joseph, who had 16 rebounds yesterday for New Mexico. There were some great moments. There was the Compton slam. How about the Miles Bird hanging on the rim slam on the alley-oop?
That was great.
Bird had he threw that 3/4 court pass to the other Miles.
Miles. That was big.
That was the final, one of the final
nail the coffin type moment.
Yeah.
And just being in there, it's a late start. The game started at 8:15. It doesn't end until after 10 o'clock, but the crowd was amped. And it was also kind of on pins and needles because you understand, it's a big game. And, everyone's thinking the same thing. Can they find a way to win this game? But, they've been young all year. That's not changing. Their freshmen are freshmen. Other teams' juniors are juniors. But for a young team to get to this point, I think is really impressive. Among the more impressive things for San Diego State under Brian Dutcher over the last 8 years is consistently winning with a young team. That's easier said than done, but they've consistently won with this young team and with these portal additions. So hopefully it continues on Saturday.
One of their players who is not young, Nick Boyd, has led the way here. Listen to these last 5 games for Nick Boyd. All right. All the way dating back to the San Jose State game when they trailed by a bunch and they came back and won. 17 points, 4 assists, followed by 24 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Then followed up with 19 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds, 15 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. And then last night, just an absolute complete game, 17 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds in the win. Nick Boyd has really turned it on here at the end of the season, and he is leading the charge. I said it on Twitter last night. Nick Boyd is already one of my favorite Aztec players of all time.
I love that. He is to me too. And he's great when you get a chance to speak with him like we have on the radio. Listen to this. Nick Boyd, 17.7 rebounds, 6 assists. The only two to do that over the last 12 years, other than Nick Boyd as an Aztec, Malachi Flynn and Winston Shepard. The only two ever to have 17, 7, and 6 in a game. Not ever, since 2013. Flynn, Shepard, and now Nick Boyd. He's just playing brilliant basketball. You're right. I mean, brilliant. It's without, and there was, I get it. Aztec fans expect so much, as they should. This team has won at such a high level, and there's ebbs and flows in the season. And there were some people that were like, "Oh, I expected more out of Nick Boyd." I'm like, "Well, he broke his foot in the summer, and he transferred here, and he's playing with one of the youngest teams competing for an NCAA tournament berth in the country." And it was just completely emerged, like you just read off over his last 5 games.
He's been incredible. If you're getting that Nick Boyd consistently every night through the rest of the season,
I know. He's just decided, and he's talked about it publicly, and he said it, and he might have said it with us. He's like, I'm just going to be aggressive. I'm not going to be indecisive. I'm going to be decisive. And you can kind of see it in how he's playing right now on the floor. All right, Kevin AC is going to join us coming up next. Plus, this hour, your chance to win a pair of tickets to the 2025 BNP Paribas Open. What is there to get into with Kevin? There's Luis Arraez public comments saying he prefers to be a second baseman, not a first baseman or a DH.
When can we expect to see, Nick Pivetta on the mound?
Right. He threw backfield.
He threw today to Fernando Tatis Jr. Struck him out.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah. I saw that video.
Okay. So when are we going to see Pavetta? When will we see Tatis in a spring training game? We asked him that Monday.
Yeah.
He's back in camp.
The Luis Ariz situation.
Yeah, the Ariz situation.
Um,
There's a lot to get into.
Yeah, we'll find stuff to get into with Kevin.
Yeah, and he's going to join us on the other side again. If you missed Tom Penn, San Diego FC CEO, in anticipation for their debut home match on Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium, you'll hear a conversation coming up at 5 p.m. But Kevin AC from Peoria, our Padres insider, he will join us next right here on Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. We'll start with the Aztecs. Huge win last night over New Mexico, 73-65. Next up, they'll take on Wyoming this Saturday night on the road. And the Padres' 3-game Cactus League losing streak is finally over, John, as they beat the Chicago White Sox today 3-1. Tomorrow at noon, they'll take on the just Athletics. Waiting for your morning cup of coffee, like a slow drain to clear. Winter rains make roots grow in drain pipes. Call Anderson Plumbing Rooter Drain Services with their $63 drain stoppage guarantee. Say goodbye to slow drains. Book online, Anderson Plumbing Routing Drain Services.
All right, I mentioned it earlier. The long national nightmare of the 3-game Cactus League losing streak is over.
Oh, thank God.
Padres in compelling fashion win today over the White Sox. Kevin Acey's our Padres insider. He's back with us on Jon and Jim. We're going to have to figure out a way to get through the next month, Kevin. I don't want to start there. I want to start with what you wrote. I think it was yesterday, and we found it really interesting. But I want further context from you on what Luis Ariz said, because I think what he said wasn't trying to be like controversial, but he did say that he is a second I'm paraphrasing. I'm a second baseman at heart, but I'm going to play first base and DH because that's what the team needs. So that's what he meant, right? There's nothing really controversial or overly critical that Luis Ariz said in these comments, right?
No.
Okay.
I mean, not at all. I mean, the fact he said was notable, right? Like, he wants to be a second baseman. He sees himself as a second baseman. Okay. I mean, so like I don't think it's like nothing. It's,
right.
It's interesting that he cared to say it, and I give him credit for it. He's just being honest, just talking. But like, look at him. Like, watch him play first base. It looks like he loves it. So, and he does play it. Played it. It was his most regular position last year. Probably would have been DH had there not been the injury to Bogarts. But, it was his most, this is what he played the most, and it's what he'll play the most this year.
When you look at the DH spot, if you have Connor Joe and Jason Hayward and Eggy Rosario, and I'm assuming, another outfielder, do they view it as like a revolving door this year at DH, in your opinion?
They'd rather it not be, but I don't see at this point. I mean, just because, it could be one of these guys that steps up, but I don't know at this point what evidence we would have that it would just be one guy. Mike Schilt has used terms like, play the hot hand, that sort of thing. So yeah, I think it will be a revolving door, and then maybe 1 month it won't be because, somebody will play David Peralta, right? Like someone will fill in that part maybe if they're fortunate. But yeah, they would prefer that it was one guy. But at this point, with who they have on the roster, I wouldn't see that happening.
Kevin Acey's our Padres insider, back with us on Jon and Jim. What's typical here, Kevin, because you've covered spring training for the Padres for a while now. With a young prospect like DeVries, does he just stick around in Major League camp throughout the entirety of it? I know he's gotten a good amount of opportunities. I think he had maybe another base hit here today, 2 for 8 in 4 games this spring. So is the goal just to kind of get eyes on him for as long as possible and see where he is in his development?
Yeah, and give him a chance to do that, but then they have to get ready for the season, right? So that's when that stops. And I forget. It's a really good question, and I forget, like, when that has happened, like 2 years ago with Merrill, last year with Salas, probably again this year with Salas. What was it? 7 years ago with Tatis, you know. When is it that they need to start? You got regulars playing 5 innings, let's say, or 4 innings, and then you are still trying to figure out who's on your major league roster, and maybe position battles, and so there just isn't any more time for Leo DeVries because you also do want him to develop, so he's helping you, after this season.
Luis Campusano made his debut today, and I couldn't help but notice, and this was also put on social media, so it was a big help as well. He's changed his batting stance again. It's more closed batting stance compared to his open batting stance in previous past here. This is like the, I don't know, 3rd, 4th, 5th maybe time he's changed his batting stance since he's been called up to the big leagues. What's the, I guess, thought process behind it, and Is it a little concerning that he keeps changing things constantly?
Kind of. Okay, it would be, right, and I have not talked to him about it. It would be because Ben's sick, and I really till today it was like, except he hasn't been hitting, and he wasn't hitting with that big open, or he was, and then he stopped. So yeah, it's concerning, but then again, like, well, wait a minute, he's not hitting, so finding something new. He certainly had time to do it. People raved about how he was down in the Dominican. So I guess we'll see. It's all part of the evolution of Luis Camposano.
Kevin Acee with us right now, Jon Jim, San Diego Sports 760. So one of these storylines that's played out, and we asked you about it Monday, is Fernando Tatis Jr. He's been under the weather. He's had the flu. I think the latest from you was he was back in camp, but when will we see him? What's your expectation in terms of seeing him in a game?
I would imagine Friday. I don't see him going the 40 minutes to Mesa tomorrow, especially, it also gives him then another day to get up, back. He looked fine today. He looked like Fernando today, but, that's his first action in 5 days. So maybe tomorrow they want to see how he feels and, all that plus, 40 minutes to Mesa. And it's not like the season starts next week. He can be in the lineup Friday. He can be in the lineup Sunday. They're at home both days. And it's then by that point, it's like nothing happened.
Yeah, they can definitely ease everybody into this long spring training. Nick Pivetta was seen on the backfield pitching to Fernando Tatis Jr. What's the plan with Nick, and when should we expect to see him in a game?
I love the transition that you made because I was going to say, like he's like the starters, right?
Yeah.
Like this morning, I'm like, what the heck? Or last night, it's like, where the heck is Nick Pivetta?
Right.
So then this morning I get up and I'm like, I look it up and I'm like, this guy makes like 5 starts. He's one of those guys who does almost like the full complement of starts, right? And I do the calendar. I'm all, damn, he's got time for 6 starts. I forgot what a long spring looks like. Like, when you're not going to Korea or there wasn't a lockout or, guys weren't in the WBC. Like he's got plenty of time. So then, he had the simulated, it's like a live BP today. And, the next step is probably a live BP and then right to Cactus League, as opposed to what Yu Darvish and Dylan Cease are doing, which I believe is B games Friday, Saturday, where you're playing like AAA guys on a backfield, and that Pivetta, kind of the same timeline. You would see them all in Cactus League games, but Pavetta's just had a different progression. And I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it because but he's new, so I don't know like how different this is. But like I said, it was last 2 years, he did 5 starts in the Grapefruit League. He's got time to do 5 in the Cactus League. So it looks like business as usual.
Kevin Acee with us right now, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. What are the possibilities, I guess, for Tirso Ornelas coming out of camp? I know you wrote briefly about him, how he had a nice productive OPS year last year in AAA. He's 5 for 10 so far this spring. I mean, what's possible here for Tirso out of camp?
Hey, John, what kind of OPS you think Jim might have in El Paso? At least
Jim
like a 590?
Well, I'll tell you what, man.
Kevin,
let me say this. So I worked in AAA for 10 years, but I wasn't in the PCL. I was in the IL. And everything, like the PCL, everything has to be taken with like it's the PCL context. But and it's so hard, right? Because you could have an 864 OPS in the PCL, and that could translate, or you could have an 864 OPS in the PCL, and you could have like a 500 OPS in the major.
I would still have.
You got to be watching a guy like what's his on base?
Exactly.
What's his walk ratio? And then you got to talk to guys, scouts, and people in the organization. What's he been doing? Because you're totally right. Like I always want to be like, when a guy comes from another team, right? I'm not all up on the AAA affiliate. I want to see which league was he in when I'm looking at his numbers. It's always like, oh, you're kidding me, a 780 in the International League? Oh, wow.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But
it might have been 1,100 in El Paso.
Right.
Okay. But they are big time high on Tirso Ornelas. And I say that like relative to, it seems like he has progressed and that they're thinking, hey, yeah, that's right. I forget what was it, $1.5 million. He was a part of that 16 signing class. Not a huge name because, Morejon broke records and all that, but like this was a part. He was going to be a part of the future. And you know what? I think he did make great strides. I didn't see him play last year, but you are hearing in spring more talk like, yeah, Tirso could be a piece for us going forward. And now, look, they're rooting for him. This would be a developmental win for the San Diego Padres. But it is looking, there's a legit double today. And was that off Dan Altavilla? I forgot. But anyway, he got a double, rips it down the line. I feel like that this guy has a shot to make the team. It could be one of those. How much is he going to play? How much better is he than, say, Gavin Sheets or, like it could be one of those, right? But I almost no doubt that you would see Tirso Ornelas in the major leagues this year at this point.
To answer your question, Kevin, I would have a 0 OPS in the
league. That's what I would have. I just kind of wonder what John thought,
I would have said lower than 0, truthfully.
Yeah, he would have put me like below
Negative.
that. So it's it. What's we're 2 weeks, 3 weeks into spring training? Like,
not even.
A walk. I can work a walk in the PCL.
There you go.
Maybe a walk. If I get hit by a pitch, that's probably
coming through there. Right, exactly.
Yeah, I could take one for the team. What's your days like, Kevin? I feel like, at some point in spring training, you're like, oh, man, let's get to the regular season.
Are we at that point already?
Are we there yet, Kevin, or when's that going to hit you?
Don't even suggest it to me now. When someone starts counting down this early, I'm like, yeah.
It's like, stop. Yeah.
Like second week of March, I get my special section stuff in, like around the 9th or 10th every year. And then you look up and go, okay. There's almost always an off day around then. I think it's the 10th this year. And it's like, okay, now we're there. 2 weeks to go. I start to make my scorebook, get my copies made for my scorebook because I have a custom scorebook, and then you start to get excited, and so that's when it gets exciting. Now my off days, I didn't work out this morning, so I slept in till 7. So that was nice.
Wow.
They're very early days. I was talking with a player. Whose wife may also work in baseball, and she's in town. And he said they were out to dinner at 5:30. Wow. And then she said, "I'm tired. Would you like to go home and go to bed?" And he's telling, yep. And that is spring training. That is spring training because it's early mornings.
Let me follow up on that because you wrote about it briefly. So Brooke Fletcher is the wife now of Jake Cronenworth. And this is a pretty amazing story. So it's White Sox Padres. And she was the sideline reporter today for the game that Jake played in. Is that correct?
Yes. And now, she did 2 hits at the preseason game. Yep. I wasn't listening. Maybe she participated more. But yes, I saw her.
Pretty cool. Pretty unique.
Yeah.
Very unique.
Yeah.
And he got married this offseason, so that's cool too.
Yeah.
It's cool. She comes from a baseball family, man. The ties are incredible. Her father played, brothers, cousins, recognizable names that had, long careers, not Hall of Famers, but she knows baseball. If you know anything about Jake, they talk baseball all the time. Jake will talk about sports to the nth degree. It is, it's cool that, and he seems very, very happy, which I would say is probably a good sign since the marriage is a month old.
Yeah, exactly. A very good sign.
If it probably is anything up there.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, Kevin, we appreciate it. Let's do it again on Friday. And we appreciate you taking time for us.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. See ya.
All right, Kevin Acee, our Padres insider. Call right now if you want 2 free tickets to the 2025 BNP Paribas Open. This is March 12th in the Coachella Valley. All right, so call right now if you want 2 free tickets to the BNP Paribas Open for March 12th. The number to call is 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760. Pick up your phone and call right now. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia. One of you is going to win 2 free tickets to the BNP Paribas Open featuring Carlos Alcaraz, Coco Gauff, and more in the Coachella Valley on March 12th. So call 877-767-4760. That is next. And then on the other side, coming up at 5 p.m., if you missed Tom Penn, CEO of San Diego Football Club, you'll hear Tom Penn with us coming up at 5 p.m. right here on Jon and Jim. Join San Diego Sports 760 and the San Diego Blood Bank in saving lives by donating blood at the iHeartRadio Blood Drive. That's this Friday, which is 2 days away. At our studios, 9660 Granite Ridge Drive. Your donation can help patients with cancer, severe burns, trauma, childbirth complications, and more. One donation could save up to 3 lives, and all blood types are needed. The first 50 successful donors will receive a pair of tickets to see Kane Brown March 13th, or tickets to see Kelsey Ballerini March 22nd at Pechanga Arena while supplies last. Make your appointment today at san diegobloodbank.org/iHeart. That's san diegobloodbank.org/iHeart. Tom Penn, San Diego FC CEO. What a magical first week it's been. If you missed our conversation, you'll hear it coming up at 5 p.m. But right now, let's get to it.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Corey and we have Mitch. Corey, you called in first, so you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
I'll go with Jim.
Okay.
Right, Corey and Jim.
Corey and Jim. Mitch, you get John, okay?
Great.
All right, perfect. Brent, what is the question of the day?
All right, guys. Last night, the Lakers took down what's left of the Mavericks. Did you know that LeBron is currently 4th in the NBA in assists per game? Today's question, name anybody else that is in the top 10 for assists per game in the NBA this season.
Wait, he's currently 4th in the league?
Yes.
You're saying that's incredible?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is incredible.
That's incredible.
I agree. Yep.
Wow. Mitch, you're up first. What is your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. No.
Has he ever been like a high assist getter?
Not really.
He's just a shooting guard.
The most he's ever averaged, I think, in a season was like 8.5.
Okay. All right.
Corey, you're up. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I'll say LeBron.
No, other than LeBron.
Other than LeBron.
Trae Young.
Trae
That's a good
Young.
one.
Good guess. Good
What's
guess.
he averages like 100 assists per game, doesn't he?
He's number 1.
Yeah,
Wow.
He's
Okay.
ridiculous.
Mitch, back to you. What's your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I'll go Luka.
Luka.
I thought maybe. Okay. No.
Corey, back to you. You could win this right here with
win
a
it.
walk-off. What is your next guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I'll say James Harden.
James Harden.
Wow for the win.
Easy sweep.
2-0.
Easy sweep.
Wow. So Harden's still getting it done. Where's Harden on that list?
He is 6th.
Is Lonzo Ball on that list?
He is not.
Is his father on that list?
No, he's not.
Are his brothers on that list?
Is Jalen Brunson on that list?
He is, right?
Yes, he is on the list. He's
Okay.
8th.
All right. What's the
Let's hear the list.
let's hear the list, yeah.
All right, Trae Young's number 1. The Joker's 2.
Oh yeah, of course.
Cade Cunningham is 3.
Oh, yeah.
LeBron was 4. Tyrese Halliburton was 5. Harden was 6. Chris Paul was 7. Brunson was 8. Dame Lillard was 9. And then Devin Booker was 10th.
Chris Paul still getting it done.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
Well, it helps. He just probably throws lobs to
Yeah.
Wemby. He gets
Well,
half his assists doing
Until
that.
he misses the rest of the year.
Well, yeah, no, we'll see how they drop now.
Right. All right. Well, congratulations to Corey because you are going to the BNP Paribas Open March 12th. Each March, the Coachella Valley transforms into the epicenter of the tennis universe. Some of the best players in the world descend on Indian Wells. Fans experience the magical tennis of world-class stars like Carlos Alcaraz, Coco Gauff, and more. They take center stage at the famed courts of the Indian Wells Tennis Garden. The BNP Paribas Open returns to the Coachella Valley this March. Reserve your seats now at tennisparadise.com.
Steph is 16th, by the way.
Steph is 16th in the NBA.
Yeah, a little over
Yeah.
6 assists.
Yeah, he doesn't average many. He's actually from like a number standpoint, not having like a great Steph season, but he's still a guy that
They don't pay him to be John Stockton. They pay him.
Have
to
they
be
turned
three.
this around with Jimmy Butler? Are things going well or what?
they're 6-1
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
with Jimmy.
Yeah. Are you a believer? Or a believer?
Or are you waiting for the wheels to fall off?
Am I a
The Jimmy
believer?
Are you a Justin Bieber fan?
I'm a believer.
You
Okay.
are going to the Backstreet Boys, so
Hell yeah.
When is that?
In July.
Where is that?
Vegas at the Sphere.
Why is that? I thought you're going because Aaron or you?
Why not?
No, there has to be. You didn't wake up one day and say, honey, after pancakes, let's look at tickets for Backstreet Boys.
You're right, I didn't. My friends texted me about it.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so this isn't predicated by Aaron. This is like a friends.
Not even me. This is initiated 1000% by my friends.
Is Aaron going, or is this just like a friends get together?
Oh, no. Aaron's coming.
Okay. That's what I was just wondering.
So it's me and Aaron, and then 2 of my best friends and their wives. So 6 of us. And last night.
Where are you staying?
We don't know yet. We haven't bought a hotel.
Okay.
But we got time. I mean, it's in July.
Yeah. You got plenty of time.
And last night, I got the text message in the group chat said, what did it say? All right, everybody, have to wear white because the Backstreet Boys announced that they're doing a whiteout.
A whiteout. Wow.
For their concert.
That's going to be really incredible.
I don't have white pants. That's going to be a little bit of a problem.
Buy them.
I know. I have those like.
How much are the tickets?
Guess.
It's at the Sphere, $260.
Close. They were $230.
That's a little too rich for my blood for Backstreet Boys, dude. Come on, man.
But when you look at like the average ticket price,
it's a good deal.
It's a good deal. Yeah.
Right. I want to see the Sphere on the inside. Like, I want to see it.
Yeah. Are they pricey? Absolutely, they are.
But it's like an experience. This goes back to what I said yesterday. You're like, San Diego FC, their tickets are $100. I'm like, they only have one home opener. Like, come on. It's professional soccer. Like, you're going to pay. There's a premium on things that people want to do. It's entertainment.
There's only one time that I can go see the Backstreet Boys in the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Is there, or are they performing there all summer long?
They're doing multiple performances. But
I think they have, what are they?
Like a residency.
Yeah.
The Vegas special.
Hey, look, the Sphere is going to be awesome.
It will. I'm excited to see it, but I won't be there for that.
Correct.
All right. Tom Penn, San Diego FC CEO, on the win Sunday in LA, on getting back home to play at Snapdragon on Saturday, and a whole lot more. Tom Penn, San Diego FC CEO, next to kick off hour 4 of Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. We'll start with the Aztecs. Huge win last night over New Mexico, 73-65. Next up, they take on Wyoming on Saturday night. And the Padres, they beat the White Sox today in Cactus League play. Tomorrow, they'll take on the Athletics at 12:05. Waiting for a morning cup of coffee? Like a slow drain to clear, winter rains make roots grow in drain pipes. Call Anderson Plumbing Rooter Drain Services with their $63 drain stoppage guarantee. Say goodbye to slow drains. Book online, Anderson Plumbing Rooter Drain Services.
Getting you all set for that drive home.
Do you want me to be more measure-headed this season?
What's measure-headed?
Or what's
measured?
Measured.
I don't want you to be more measure-headed. I don't even know what that means.
What is the word I'm trying to
No, I don't want you to be anyone other than yourself.
Not measure-headed.
Here's the thing.
More measured.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
When you try to be someone you're not,
What's measure-headed?
it's you being an idiot.
True.
Just be you. That's
Okay.
the thing. Like, nobody is listening to us because they want you to be me
More measure-headed.
or me to be you. They want you to be a person that doesn't know where, if Austin is in Massachusetts or in Texas, or if measure-headed is a term or not, or Furman is the school or Furnham is the school, right? They want you, and you need to be able to deliver you.
BOGO means bring your own.
You did say that, didn't you?
did say that, yeah.
Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 4 of Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760, streaming as well on YouTube and on the iHeartRadio app. We had a conversation with Tom Penn, CEO of San Diego FC, and this is a pretty insightful conversation for those that might be going to Snapdragon Stadium on Saturday. But we started the conversation by talking about, could there be any better start for an organization than what happened Sunday in LA, that 2-0 victory over the LA Galaxy? Here was Tom Penn earlier.
Thanks for having me. Wow, what a great day that was for the community and for, this entire project. To say hello that way was really a unique opportunity. When we got scheduled in that manner, that was before the Galaxy were becoming the 6-time champions, right? Mm-hmm. So, and before Apple had decided to do Sunday Night Soccer, which is their new feature of the week. So those two things, really hyper-focused all the attention on it. And it created, what I'd call a big bang moment, where we had the chance to just go show everybody kind of who we are and who we intend to be. For years, I've been trying to explain what this is going to be. And it's totally different now, expressing who we really are, both on the pitch and in the stands. I mean, the opportunity for our supporters to go up there 1,000 strong and make that kind of statement as well was equally important in terms of expressing who we are right now.
Tom, Saturday is going to get here and it's going to be a whirlwind for you. But leading up to that, as far as expectations go, can you even think about what you're going to see on Saturday, or is it something that you feel like you're going to be shocked and blown away by?
Well, no, I've thought a lot about every second of it because we're in the process of sort of planning all the special features and all the, the tribute to ownership, the sequence of unveiling a brand new ritual that we're going to do to start each game, which we're really excited about. So all that is sort of pretty clear in my mind. The only thing that's always unclear is what's going to happen when that game starts, right? And how's the match itself going to play out? You never know. We know our style of play is an exciting one where we want to push tempo and score goals. And, frequently we may get scored upon. We will get scored upon. So the emotional roller coaster of the actual match is totally unknown. And then what's also unknown is just how the whole stadium's going to react. And I know the supporters are going to bring it, and they're going to bring all sorts of chants and songs and flair. And what's unknown is when you get 32 plus 33,000 people in that building, when you're like, whoa, what does this feel like? That's impossible to imagine, but so exciting to think about.
Yeah, that's where I was going with, is like from a fan standpoint here. I mean, you guys had almost 1,000 fans of supporters going up to, Carson for your first match. And this match right now, you guys tweeted out earlier today, expected to be the largest crowd ever at Snapdragon Stadium. I mean, and that's got to be a pretty big accomplishment once Saturday gets there, that you guys can put your stamp on as of right now, potentially, having the largest crowd ever at Snapdragon.
Yeah, we're going to definitely have the most people in the gates, in the doors, butts in seats, enthusiastically there. This is a historic moment. So typically if you have a ticket, you show up, right? So we should see a really high show rate and then just the overall excitement of it all. This is 30 plus years in the making for this community. When MLS expanded over 30 years ago, when they launched, they wanted to be in San Diego. You hear the original leaders, reflect on that. And for a variety of reasons, it just never happened. So along comes Saquon, the original inhabitants of the land, saying they want to step up and make this happen. And we find this incredible partnership with Sir Mohammed Mansour and Right to Dream. And you finally get that combined with the Snapdragon Stadium being constructed, coming out of the dirt, a real reality. It was all perfectly aligned, finally, for San Diego to get Major League Soccer.
No doubt about it. Tom Penn is San Diego FC's CEO. And again, the home opener is Saturday night at 7:30. So for our listeners, Tom, I mean, what do you want people to know? Like you said, there's going to be 33,000 plus people at Snapdragon. The match is going to get underway around 7:30, but gates are going to open well before that at 5:30. What do you have planned for those that are going to be there for the first match ever at home for San Diego FC?
Well, first of all, come early, right? You said gates open at 5:30, parking lots open at 2 or 2:30, something like that. And tailgating is back. We know how much tailgating has happened on that plot of land through the years, and we want to bring it back. And that's full on green light go. We're doing a fan fest on the east side of the stadium out on the lawn. That's just going to be awesome with all kinds of activities for kids, for adults, for any soccer fan. And then, once the gates open, the first 30,000 people through the door get a free scarf, which is an inaugural classic giveaway item. I mean, it's like a $30 item. And so everybody in the whole place is going to have a scarf. So I have no idea if people are going to start waving scarves, raising their scarves. That'll be fun to see what organically happens. We've got food and drink upgrades all over the place in that stadium. We're expanding the concourse on the east side so that there are more bathrooms and more points of sale. We got all kinds of cool merch available and, the usual bells and whistles. The show is going to start around 7:10, 7:15, where we're going to do all this preliminary one-time kind of stuff. We've got a really cool ritual that I talked about earlier where we're going to release the energy of San Diego into the stadium. And then away we go at 7:30 with kick.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Tom Penn joined us here, CEO of San Diego FC. Sunday night, like on the field, Tom, what was your impression of just how you guys played? I mean, that second half, you could not have asked for a better second half. A goal right out of the jump there in the second half, and then closing it off there with Anders Dreyer scoring a second goal of the match. I mean, just from a how they played standpoint, what was your impression of the team?
I thought they were true to the identity that Mikey Varas is instilling. It was consistent with what I saw through all of our 5-6 weeks of training. He wants to be brave, relentless, with a fighting team spirit. Okay, so what does that mean? That means we're possession oriented and controlling the ball. We press like crazy to put pressure on them when they have the ball in their half. That's why we got the easy goal early, is because we've just been pressure, and they had one misplay, and Chucky immediately found Anders, who hammered it into the back of the net. Then after that, we continued to control the game. We absorbed their pressure, and then we countered. And how about that bit of skill on the ultimate give and go that took about, 80 yards and 10 seconds to play out, where Tommy Engel made the pass, Anders made that amazing pass back to Tommy, who took two defenders with him, waited, and cleverly just put it right on the money for Anders to hammer it again. So that's what I've seen in training. You're going to see more of that, where we're going to be high press, high possession, expressing a high degree of skill. And then, we need those finishers like Chucky and Anders and Marcus, Tommy to finish on score. And that'll be the difference.
Tom, final one for me, and you kind of touched on it, but just spending the time you have around San Diego and launching this club, and you've been around Major League Soccer. What is it? I mean, this market, like you said, 30 years ago, there was interest in having an MLS team in San Diego. It just never came to be for whatever reason. But what is it about San Diego that is truly unique, even with, and this will play out, we don't fully know yet. We haven't even seen the home match, but what do you think it is in your 2-year run up that makes San Diego unique into itself within this league?
Well, San Diego is such a distinct place geographically because of the separation, right? I mean, with Camp Pendleton cutting it off from Orange County in LA, and with the mountains to the east and the border, and the binational nature, we all know that, right? So there's just this distinct DNA to this place. And I say soccer is in the DNA of this community. It just has been forever because the weather's perfect. Everybody participates. Everybody played as a kid. A disproportionate number of national team players come from this community, like Luca Della Torre, who now plays for us. And it's just a pipeline of talent that's had to leave and go elsewhere. So you've got all that at the high participation level. And then just the binational mixer down here is real. I mean, this is really a cross-border community. We know that Mexico loves soccer more than anything. And that infuses into the DNA and the generations of people that are here. So, I mean, Chucky Lozano is going to be a superstar in this town once the rest of the town really understands who he is. And he's so gregarious and warm and fan engaging. I mean, he signed every autograph. I've never seen an athlete like this. He never doesn't stop. He always stops to sign. So San Diego is just a special place, and we aspire to be relevant, meaningful, important, and value add to this entire community. And we want to bring together the whole community woven into one around their love of this club.
Well, we're looking forward to Saturday. We really are, right here on San Diego Sports 760. You can hear the match. And, of course, a lot of you will be out there at Snapdragon Stadium. And I will say this, that moment Chucky Lozano created for that young fan when he took the jersey literally off his back.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something that I think will be forever, entrenched in that young person's mind. Plus, for the club, I mean, that's just an unbelievable moment to have your star in such a personable moment with a young fan that's first ever match. I mean, you can't buy something like that. So, Tom, we're looking forward to Saturday. Again, limited tickets at SanDiegoFC.com. 7:30 is the start time, but get there early. And, Tom, congratulations on everything. And I'm sure it'll be a easy Saturday, right? You'll just be in your seat, kick back, enjoy the night. I'm sure it'll be a simple night for you.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Let's go, SDFC.
All right, good conversation with Tom Penn, CEO of San Diego FC. All right, we caught up with Kevin Acee earlier. We will react to that conversation. Padres in Peoria, plus Jim's back page is ahead and more. We're here until 6 p.m. Don't go anywhere. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. All right. Promote the changes to the new iHeartRadio app.
Is that the liner?
It's Ron Burgundy.
Oh, man.
While we're waiting, promote
the changes to the new iHeartRadio app. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. In all seriousness, if you haven't downloaded the new app, you need to, and search for Jon and Jim. Put us in your presets. You can listen to our interviews and our hours of the show, and put San Diego Sports 760 in the presets. You can listen to the radio station live, like Jon and Jim, but also San Diego FC this weekend, San Diego State basketball this weekend, San Diego State football in the fall. So,
and our podcast, by the way,
our podcasts are there. So seriously, if you haven't downloaded the new app, make sure to do it and put us in your presets, Jon and Jim and San Diego Sports 760. So Kevin Acee, I was like, hey, listen, the Arise comments and the comments that he made, if you missed it, he said, I'm not a first baseman. I'm not a DH. I play second base. And he said more than that, but he called the comments interesting, and I think that they are, that Luis Arise went on the record saying that. But again, it's like beggars can't be choosers. You've been traded a couple of times. You're still trying to find a long-term home. He's not a brilliant defensive player. He's in there for his tool of getting on base, right? And hitting. So, you're not going to play second base every day in the major leagues right now if you're Luis Arise. So I understand that. I kind of respect him saying I'm a second baseman, but I'll play it first or I'll play DH if that can help the team win.
For me, I don't really care where he plays, to be honest with you.
Right.
His bat is the most important thing out there.
Yep.
And if he's healthy and his thumb is completely healed from the ligament damage in the last year and his surgery, dude, play wherever. I don't care. I know he wants to play second base, but I don't view him as a player that, if he is playing at first base and is a DH, that's going to affect his offensive production. Wherever he goes, if he's healthy, dude's going to hit 320. Right?
Yeah. I mean, with the chance, was it 2 years ago he hit 351? It was recently.
Yeah.
And again, he's won 3 straight batting titles. So whether it's 315 or 350, he's fully capable of doing all of that. And I do wonder if we see even a more productive hitter because of the thumb.
I think we will. And I think we're going to see the player that we saw when he first got traded over here.
Well, that's the other thing. Honestly, I'd prefer, if he's going to hit as a DH, he doesn't need to play the field. You know what I mean?
No.
He really doesn't. That's not like a big asset to have Luis Arise in the field. I thought he was fine in the field. I didn't think he was some huge liability watching last year. Maybe the metrics would tell you there is some liability there, but I don't concern myself with him in the field if he hits. He can play any position if he hits. I think he has extreme value for the Padres specifically. And I know people say, well, the on-base percentage has to be higher or he needs to hit for power. But no, he proved last year that as a table setter and getting on base, he made that offense a lot better. This was a really good offense. From the time he got here until the end of the season, the Padres had a really good offense until they didn't for the final couple of games of the postseason. But I think Luis Arise deserves credit for the Padres offense being really good last year. Not all the credit, but some of the credit.
When did he get traded? He got traded in May, right?
I would say early to mid-May in my mind is when it happened. Right?
You want to know his numbers in May last year?
It's going to be
May.
They were really good. He had 5 hit games.
He hit 389 with a 415 on base, 460 slug, 875 OPS in May.
May 4th.
Exactly.
May 4th.
So
yeah,
there you go.
So that was the
May
whole
4th
month.
Be with you.
That's crazy.
So dude hit damn near 400 in his first month. And it's pretty easy to tell when he got injured because in June, he hit 257.
That's crazy.
And then July, he hit 279. Respectable. But again, his on base was not great and he did not slug at all.
Right.
And then he found it in August. He hit 317 in August with a 355 on base, 749 OPS.
Mm-hmm.
And then September, he hit 340 in September with an 803 OPS.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at those numbers and then his first month here in San Diego where I'm like, that's Luis Arise.
Right.
That's the player that you're going to be getting. If he's hitting 250, he's hurt.
Yeah, 100%. There's no way he can hit 250 if he's healthy. I feel pretty encouraged about Arise in a full season in a Padres uniform, right? Like Arise, full season, healthy from the thumb injury. I feel like, he could win another batting title. That alone is unbelievable. The thing is, oftentimes the Padres make trades for position players and they don't have the same numbers they had elsewhere, right? We've said that a lot. I mean, it comes to mind, who was the second baseman for the Pirates they traded for?
Oh, Adam Frazier.
They made a big deal out of it. He did nothing here, right? And that's a small
awful
sample size, one player. But the thing with Arise is like, he was better here than he was at least to start the year in Miami last year.
His start last year
wasn't great.
It wasn't.
Just under 300, maybe?
So March is only 4 games.
But April, too. We have his numbers.
Dude, April he hit 330.
Oh, really? What were his numbers in a Marlins uniform? Because we have that pulled out.
Let's see here. In a Marlins uniform last year? Yeah, 299.
Okay, which is good. But I'm saying he was even better in San Diego. He had 318.
Yeah, 318, 744 OPS. You'd like to see those numbers go up, but I mean, you can't fault a 318 batting average.
No, not at all. And I'm with you. I mean, if he does, will we take that again? Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take his 318, 744 OPS again. Now, I do know in 2023, he had 354, in fact, with an 861 OPS. So he can be better than he was last year, is the point.
I'll even take his 2022 season,
which was
where he hit 316 with a 795 OPS.
Yep.
A 375 on base percentage and a forced 20 slugging percentage.
Yeah, you're right.
I would take that right now.
31
doubles, 8 home runs, which is a lot.
Right.
He only had 4 last year. So yeah, walked 50 times, struck out only 43.
He's the big piece of the puzzle for me. Again, you're not going to get the acclaim of Machado or Tatis, and he might not have the same attention as even like a Xander Bogaerts in terms of like being under a microscope. But this might be our last chance to see Luis Ariz in 2025. So hopefully he puts together another year where he hits 330. But again, he's not going to be doing it as a second baseman.
And it's a year that he's contract year.
Yep.
You got 3 dudes that are very important pieces to your team this year, all on a contract year. And I would love if all of them have contract type of years. Ariz hits 330. King and Cease both win 15 plus games with an ERA in like the low 3s to high 2s, or hell, one of them has a breakout season, and Cease has that Cy Young type of year, or King puts up another year like he did last year.
Yeah.
Dude, that to me, if they get that, it's really hard to envision them not at least being a competitive team.
Absolutely. Completely agree. All right, more on the Padres on the other side, plus what Brian Dutcher had to say about his team post-game after the Aztecs' big win last night over the University of New Mexico, and Jim's back page. We are here until 6. This is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760.
All right, this update is brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. San Diego State with a huge win last night over New Mexico, 73-65. Next up, they'll take on Wyoming this Saturday on the road. You can listen to the pregame show starting at 4 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. And the Padres, Cactus League play today. They beat the White Sox, ending their 3-game losing streak. I'm being facetious. Tomorrow, they take on the Athletics. Waiting for your morning cup of coffee like a slow drain to clear. Winter rains make your roots grow in drain pipes. Call Anderson Plumbing Rooter Drain Services with their $63 drain stoppage guarantee. Say goodbye to slow drains. Book online, Anderson Plumbing Rooter Drain Services.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 here until 6 p.m. Tomorrow on the show, Tyler Heaps, general manager, San Diego FC, will be on the show, and we determined that was at 2:30.
Correct.
Tyler Heaps will be on the show tomorrow at 2:30. Brian Dutcher show is tomorrow as well. Let's start there. You have the sound, Brent, from Dutch. So this is post-game last night. Aztecs in a gotta-have game without one of their best players, Magoon Guath. They win it over New Mexico, inching closer to the NCAA tournament with work to do. Make no mistake, still work to do as we head into March this weekend, the next time San Diego State plays. But the Aztecs win in front of a great crowd at Viejas Arena. This was Brian Dutcher postgame.
This is a tough, gutty win tonight. Playing our first full game without Magoon. Heidi stepped up, played great. Jared played great, and Farrell played great off the bench. Our bigs were really valuable tonight. And so proud of all of them. They all contributed at a high level. And we beat a very good New Mexico team. Last time we played them, I think they got 18 offensive rebounds, and they had 19 extra shots, 19 more shots than we had. And it wasn't quite as bad. They had 12 more shots than we did tonight, and they had 17, I think, offensive rebounds. So this is a good team. Nelly Joseph had 16 offensive rebounds. But I thought we did a good job on him for the most part. We fronted him. We didn't give him any easy catches because he's a dynamic player. So I thought we had a good game plan. I thought we played good help defense. Again, we shot 54% in the second half for the second game in a row. I think we had 20 assists tonight, something like that, maybe 16 to 20 assists, 16 assists. So we're playing the right way offensively. Our offense is catching up to a very good defense, and hopefully that will continue as we play our final 3 games of the season.
Final 3 games of the year. Doesn't that go quick, college basketball?
Yeah, it goes by very quickly.
I mean, like NBA, it's kind of going, like you don't even get started until Christmas. They've already played for a couple of months.
But guess what's in 2 days? Or I guess 3 days.
In 3 days? March?
Well, what is...
What are you talking about?
It's March, bro. March Madness.
That's not the music.
That was just the CBS music.
That's it.
There you go.
You just gave us the NBA on NBC.
Oh, I did.
Rock
I'm an
Ball
idiot.
or whatever jam.
Yeah. Sorry, I got my jingles mixed up sometimes.
Yeah,
John Tesh.
And by the way, it's not in 3 days because it's in 4 days. Is it 3 days?
Yeah, Saturday.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're a couple days from March, and we are 2 weeks from Sunday to Selection Sunday. So 2.5 weeks.
Is Selection Sunday like one of your...
It's not a Sunday.
I know. Duh.
Is that your shill top 5 days?
It would be on my top 5 days.
Top 5 days.
Oh, my gosh. It's probably... I mean, but here's the thing. My Selection Sunday, like Schulte, the day pitchers and catchers report, but then the day position players report is probably his top 5. For me, Selection Sunday followed by the first Thursday of the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
If the first Thursday of the NCAA tournament isn't in your top 5 days as a sports fan, that's surprising to me. I bet a lot of our listeners, you might not be a college basketball fan, but you love the first Thursday of March Madness.
Love the first Thursday.
Right? You don't have to follow college basketball in November to love the first Thursday of March Madness.
It's in the top 5.
It's in the top 5.
It's in the top 5.
You,
Thank you, Schulte. I appreciate that.
Would you agree with that that's not Selection Sunday? Again, that's for the hardcore like me. But would you agree that Thursday is like a top 5 type sports day?
Oh,
Has to
Thursday,
be.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a sports fans like have
euphoria.
It's just
buffet
because you can do all the brackets.
I love the brackets.
Right. And you can just
You
watch
barely
all the
work that day.
games.
Well, true. I mean, we air Westwood One's coverage of the NCAA tournament.
That is correct.
As well that Thursday and Friday.
Well,
Which I know we're looking forward to.
Even when I worked in Madison, we didn't have the rights to the tournament, but when I was doing news talk, I'd go in the morning and just watch games all day, and pretty much nobody cared because you see Illinois got upset by so-and-so, and that's all anyone talked about for like 2 days. They're like two of the most unproductive work days of the year.
Right. No, absolutely. So, March is coming. Is that a thing?
What do you mean?
Or winter is coming.
Yeah, that's winter.
Winter is coming.
March is coming.
March is also coming.
And now now here's the thing. You know me, I'm always looking to the next game, and none of this is easy. So you're in Laramie.
Oh, here we go.
You're at 7,200 feet of elevation. And remember, the Aztecs trailed Wyoming by 18 here and came back to win by 2.
That's right.
That was the game. Actually, Nick Boyd got teed up late. They were up 11 with 20 seconds left. They ended up winning by 2 points. But it's been different over the years on the road. Dutch talks about postgame. It's like I've been coaching for 25 years in this league, and it's Laramie. It's not easy.
Is this one of those beet juice weeks?
I think it has to be.
Right?
Yeah, because this is
elevation.
This is the highest elevation of any program in Division I.
I don't know if I could stomach some beet juice.
I don't know.
Have you ever been somewhere at elevation? You're gonna be like, yeah, I was at the top of a building. Have you ever been to Denver?
Yes, the airport.
Denver, no.
Have you ever been to Wyoming?
I've never been to Wyoming. No.
Have you been to Logan, Utah?
I've never been to Logan,
or Salt
Utah.
Lake?
No.
I've been to Utah. I don't know.
So it's someone that was in Jackson Hole 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, great.
And Kristen would tell you this. I was out of breath doing anything.
Well, you're out of breath doing anything.
That is fair. But it's even more I would walk up a slight driveway ramp, and I would have to stop midway up the driveway ramp.
You did that yesterday.
True. But you know what I mean? I'm telling you right now, Jim, if you went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming tomorrow or Laramie, where they're going to play this weekend, you would tell me how out of you can't breathe.
I do want to go to Wyoming.
I think I would sue Orange Theory if I were you. I'd be like, dude, what am I paying you money for? It's I can't even walk down the stairs without passing out.
Wyoming is beautiful.
Beautiful. Moose, elk.
I wouldn't be hunting.
No
John.
speed limit.
No. They're out on the streets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
it's just how.
Do you go pet them?
No. You stay away from them.
They would attack you.
Yeah, mooses have bad temperaments.
Okay.
They'll run you the F over, Jim.
But anyway, I guess
there's lots of YouTube videos of that stuff.
The point here is that this is no guarantee. Even though they've put themselves in position to be in position, they have to finish it off, is the point. Not just Wyoming, but then UNLV. They already lost to UNLV this year at Viejas. Their lone, I don't know if you'd call it a bad loss. I guess you would. Quad 3. And then home senior night against Nevada. So still positioning in the Mountain West tournament. And then what kind of seed could they potentially still secure in the NCAA tournament? I'm still on board with just get into the tournament. Whatever seed it is whatever seed it is. But you just find your way in.
Yeah, this is a year where you're not sitting there saying, oh, they got to get a 5 seed or they got to get a 6. Getting in is all that matters. And if they're 10, they're 10. They're 11. They're an 11.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I will be perfectly content and happy with whatever seed they would draw. And I think the coaching staff and Dutch would say the same thing because of just, how young this team is and how green they are and the lack of big time games they've played in. The only person on this team that has any really big game experience is Nick Boyd. Now, Miles Bird was on the team last year, and he did play minutes in their Sweet 16, and he was with the team when they went to the national championship. Didn't play any minutes, but it's different when you're out there than when you're on the sidelines.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. And again, beggars choosers, you'd prefer not to go to Dayton for the quote unquote plan. But then again, if you have to do it, you have to do it. A few years ago, I watched UCLA go from first 4 to Final 4.
Yeah.
And I think VCU went first 4 to Final 4. It's happened. So again.
Is there any scenario? Okay, so they make the tournament.
Okay.
Is there any scenario, because there have been in the past, where you're sitting there and you're like, that's a ridiculous draw, or do you not care?
There could be a scenario. I think that, okay, I'll give you an example. Last year, it wasn't San Diego State, but Boise State had this great year. And they're all sitting there as a team on Selection Sunday, in some, hall, maybe in the football stadium, hey, it's Selection Sunday. And they thought they were 7-8 seed. They ended up in Dayton.
Yeah.
And all the Mountain West teams, if you remember, other than San Diego State, the Aztecs were seeded 5th They were a 5 seed.
Yeah.
There were 5 other teams in the tournament. They were all seated lower than the projections. It's like they discounted them out west last year, other than San Diego State. But no, your point is interesting because, again, it's not like you're expecting them to be a 5 seed. So if they're a 9, they're a 9.
Yeah.
If they're a 10, they're a 10. If they're an 11, they're an 11, right?
Yeah, they're not, at the top of the Mountain West Conference. They're likely not going to win the Mountain West Conference regular season. There's a chance they could absolutely win the conference tournament.
Right.
But even if they win the conference tournament, I don't think that's jumping them up to like a 5 seed again.
No, it wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe they'd be in the 8-9 game. Honestly, I don't know. But I don't know. But we'll see. But again, a big win last night over New Mexico and a big game on Saturday, and they're all big from here on out. And the conference tournament in Vegas is 2 weeks from tomorrow. It'll get underway, and Selection Sunday is 2 weeks from Sunday. All right, on the other side, as we're here until 6 p.m., we will get to Jim's back page. So don't go anywhere. Jim's back page. On the other side, this is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760. All right, so programming reminder for Saturday. Aztec basketball with pregame coverage at 4. San Diego State, Wyoming at 5. Followed immediately by San Diego FC, St. Louis City at Snapdragon Stadium at 7:30. So a doubleheader, San Diego State into San Diego FC, exclusively here on San Diego Sports 760 on Saturday. You can also hear the soccer match on Jammin' 95.7.
Yeah, so if the Aztec basketball game ends up, I don't know, going into overtime.
Why would you say that?
I know, I just ruined it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just spoken into existence.
I'm an idiot.
Jerk.
But if that game does run long and overlaps with SDFC's home match,
Right.
you will still be able to hear the entirety of that game on Jammin' 95.7.
Is this a must-win match?
We can ask that on Friday in the wrap.
I mean,
I tell you what, dude. If they were, say they put together like the same type of game that they did against
another couple,
Galaxy,
same thing. Look great, win by 2 goals.
The hype for this thing is just going to grow and grow and grow, and good for them. Honestly, I mean, that's what you want. That's that you could not dream up for a better situation and a better start to your franchise to have what happened on Sunday, and then if you win your first ever home match in front of 35,000 people.
Here's the one thing I didn't realize until Tom said it. He's like, what's it going to be like when we allow a goal? He's like, it'll happen. I'm like, oh, when you put it that way, yeah, they probably will allow.
They're going to lose matches.
Yeah. So I haven't really considered that. I kind of enjoyed when they just looked awesome and they won resoundingly. Yeah. And maybe that's not going to be the case all 34 times out this year, but it is a home opener. I mean,
because we know how things go in San Diego with sports teams.
I know you can't have nice things.
Like, can we just once have the opener here at Snap? Like, just or just win, just win the game.
Just win.
To me, that's perfect.
Give me some. Give me 3-2. Give me back and forth.
Yeah,
win. Give me 3-2.
Or give me a situation where it's tied 2-2. We're headed into extra time. And they score in like the 93rd minute.
Yeah, that's 3. I'll take that too. Yeah.
And the place just goes
bizarre,
crazy.
Bonkers. That's what you're going to hear Saturday night right here on San Diego Sports 760. All right, let's get to it.
McDonald's, John, is honoring one of its most iconic breakfast sandwiches with a celebration fit for a history maker.
Okay.
National Egg McMuffin Day is on Sunday, March 2nd. So fans can go grab an Egg McMuffin or sausage McMuffin with egg for just $1 exclusively through the McDonald's app. But, John, the celebration does not stop there. From March 3rd to March 30th, McDonald's is offering a buy one, get one deal for the sausage McMuffin and egg for McDelivery. So what is that? McDelivery? Yes. Orders placed through the McDonald's app.
You've never done McDelivery?
I've never done that before.
Yeah, my neighbors do it all the time.
McDelivery, Jim, is like a playoff McDonald's.
I get that. I get that.
Have you ever heard of the convenience store Sheets?
No.
Have you or no?
Sheets? No, I haven't.
No,
they call everything a schmuffin or a bagel.
Yeah, no, I think that's an East Coast thing.
Yeah, it is, but I was just saying that's what McDonald's is doing there, like a McDelivery, like McCoffee.
Okay.
Anyway,
and McMuffin.
Right. Carry on.
McDouble.
Yeah,
yeah, basically, yeah, exactly.
I like McFlurry. Breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all right. Starting on March 4th, John, at noon, Kroger will be giving away what they refer to as the Hour Back Box. Kroger said in a news release that these boxes are full of items to make the mornings a little easier after losing an hour. Each box contains breakfast items like cold brew, oat milk creamer, and a frozen breakfast sandwiches. These boxes will be given out on a first-come, first-served basis. The boxes will also contain a gift card that can be redeemed for 1 year at Kroger's Boost membership. The membership gives free grocery delivery, twice the fuel points, and extra discounts. Customers can also claim a box while supplies last to be delivered by visiting Kroger.com.
Wait, is this for when we spring forward?
Yeah.
Sunday, March 9th?
Daylight savings, right? Right. No.
It's daylight saving time beginning.
Okay, got it.
And is it March 9th? Sunday, March 9th? When this is happening? Because that's
when it's happening. I don't know when it's happening, but I just know that. I don't know.
Okay.
But March 4th is the day that,
So it's happening March 4th.
Sure, March 4th.
But daylight savings, or when you spring ahead, is March 9th.
So it's going to be lighter, longer.
Correct, Jim.
I love that.
Next weekend.
I need that.
I know. Because when we leave here at 6 p.m. and it's finally getting lighter.
I say every day it's getting better.
Which has been great. But leaving here at 6 once we turn the clocks. Why can't we have nice things?
And especially too, we don't have any windows in this studio.
We don't know what's happening out there.
So
it could be snowing.
Yeah. And the second we step outside, it's like, it's pitch black.
It's pitch black. It's cold.
I need to step outside at 6 p.m. and it'd be like
bright
light.
Sun's in my face.
I need the sunset to be at like 9:20.
Yeah, I need my blender sunglasses outside.
The only person that I know on this planet that likes daylight savings time is Marty Caswell.
She likes when it gets dark early.
She loves when it gets dark early. And I'm
I don't mind it.
Why?
I don't like it. I'm always curious about the people in Alaska that have like the summers that have the 24-hour daylight days and then the winters that are 24 hours of darkness. I can't do 24 hours of darkness.
No.
I could just watch like college basketball.
True.
I'd be fine with it.
Denny's, listen to this, will be adding a surcharge for meals that includes the use of eggs at some locations due to rising costs from a nationwide egg shortage, the company has confirmed to Nexstar. The dinner chain did not announce which of its roughly 1,500 locations would impose the surcharge, saying, quote, "This pricing decision is market by market and restaurant by restaurant." The company cited egg shortages caused by the bird flu as a reason for the surcharges.
So how much is the surcharge? Does it say the amount? Like, hey, $2.95 on your item or something?
It doesn't say.
I think I saw it the other day. I think it's like around 75 cents or something like that. $1.
Okay. Not absurd.
That's an outrage.
Another $1.
I did go to the store the other day.
Yeah.
And I saw a carton of 2 dozen eggs.
Not $20.
$31.
Whew. Yeah.
I was like, what?
Lots of that depends though. If you're gonna go get organic eggs and stuff like that, those are $20. But like the normal ones are still like $10 or $8 or something like that, which is still too much.
Yeah.
I remember in college you used to get like a dozen eggs for like 80 cents.
Yeah, the old days
eggs
were
for like a whole semester.
Better. Remember when gas was like 5 cents?
I don't actually. I do remember when it was in the twos, like the $2.30 range.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
But
do you remember when like baseball tickets were 25 cents?
No, John, I'm not that old. I'm 36.
I don't remember it
10
either.
Years, remember?
I don't remember it either.
Yeah.
Remember when you could go to the Backstreet Boys for $10, not $230?
I don't remember that.
It probably existed.
I don't think it ever.
Maybe like $25.
Maybe, and when they weren't as big as they are.
They're not big right now.
The Backstreet Boys.
The Backstreet Boys are not big. They're maybe the residents.
They're not big right now, but it's a legacy, band. Like you when you go to watch U2, those tickets are going to be pricey. If you watch the Rolling Stones, they're going to be pricey.
Really pricey.
So they might not be popular like per se right now, but still, it's like a legacy. Like if you go watch Paul McCartney. Bro,
we're not comparing. Are you comparing the Backstreet Boys to the Rolling Stones and Paul McCartney?
I'm just saying, as far as like bands that aren't popular right now.
Time out. They're not a band.
A group.
Yeah. I mean, a boy band, which screams group. Are they all even still around? Is this the same group?
Yes.
Okay.
Same group.
I'm curious.
Same group.
They're
all the members.
All the people are going to be
the exact same members.
What else would they be doing?
Send me a picture.
I might.
Actually, I don't even care.
you really
and it's
don't.
in July. I don't care. You know how hot it is in July in Vegas? We've been there the last 2 years.
It's going to be really hot.
At least it's inside.
You guys are going to be wearing white suits.
That's probably a good call.
I'll wear a white shirt.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, until you sweat through it, then it's going to.
We'll be indoors.
Right. All right. If you missed anything today, sportsst.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Spotify. We're back tomorrow. The GM of San Diego FC, Tyler Heaps, joins the show at 2:30. We've got the Brian Dusher Show tomorrow night at 6 p.m. as well. So you can find us on social media. We're also on YouTube at Jon and Jim, JONANDJIM. For Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.
Bye.